coming up for division at the second reading stage. There are bills that this afternoon the Senate has lined up to be able to consider them at the Committee of the Whole. And also pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 53, paragraph 1, senators shall be seeking statements from various standing committees. This afternoon, the Senator for Marsabit County, Honorable Mohamed Chute, shall seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the boundary dispute at Abjahan along the Marsabit-Wajir counties. Senators, we can see they are making their way into the chamber. Remember, currently what is on is a quorum bell, a 10-minute quorum bell. This is at the commencement of the sitting, and we have seen that more members have made their way into the chamber. This means that the quorum is just about to be attained. At least 15 senators. This is as provided for in the House Standing Order number 39. So we believe in just a few minutes that quorum shall be raised and the sitting of the Senate shall commence. This afternoon also the Senator for Kisumu County, Professor Tom Ojenda, shall seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the subdivision and conversion of agricultural land to non-agricultural uses across Kisumu County. And the Senator for Kitui County, Honorable Enoch Wambua, shall this afternoon also seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources. This regards the increasing pollution and contamination of rivers flowing into Kitui County.
Proceed and call out the first one. Not yet. Yes, I see. I asked you to call out the first one.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next one.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next one.
Order number 3, messages.
Next one.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next one.
Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader. Senate Majority Leader or his representative has a number of papers to read.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 22nd July 2026. 1, tourism, the tourism enterprises regulations 2026, and 2, the biannual reports of the Commission on Administrative Justice for the period July-December 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next one, Clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next one.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Senators, we have several statements and standing under 53-1. We start with the Senator for Marsabit County, Senator Mohamed Chute. He has 2 statements. Those statements are dropped. Senator for Kisumu County, Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my statement today is on subdivision and conversion of agricultural land to agricultural uses across Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of countrywide concern regarding subdivision and conversion of agricultural land to non-agricultural uses across Kisumu County. In recent years, Mr. Speaker, productive farmland in the semi-urban areas surrounding Kisumu City and along major transport corridors across Kisumu County has increasingly been subdivided and converted to residential, commercial, and other non-agricultural uses. This has greatly reduced agricultural productivity in the county and threatens the county's economy, which is significantly dependent on agriculture. Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the total acreage of agricultural land across Kisumu County that has been converted to agricultural use from 2021 to date, including the reasons for approval of the change of user. 2, whether in determining applications for subdivision and change of user of agricultural land, the county government of Kisumu gives special consideration to the impact of land transactions on agricultural production and overall food security in the county. 3, whether the county government tracks the cumulative impact of approved subdivision and change of user transactions for agricultural land on agricultural productivity and household food security within the county, and if so, to obtain the current data on the same. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the measures to safeguard high potential agricultural land from indiscriminate subdivision and conversion to an agricultural use, and to generally promote sustainable land use planning in Kisumu City. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next is Senator Enoch Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my statement, or my request for a statement, is on the poisoning of and contamination of rivers in Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of countrywide concern regarding the increasing pollution and contamination of rivers flowing into and through Kitui County, particularly the Athi and Tana rivers. Mr. Speaker, sir, these rivers, the river and Tana River, are lifelines for irrigation, livestock, and water for domestic use. Yet, upstream industrial, municipal, and mining activities have degraded water quality, threatening food security, public health, and community livelihoods. The contamination of these rivers has become a pressing environmental and socioeconomic crisis. Communities depending on them face declining agricultural productivity, risks to livestock, and exposure to waterborne diseases. Urgent interventions are needed to safeguard both the environment and the people of Kitui County. In the statement, the Speaker, the committee should address the following. 1, the measures taken by the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, and other relevant agencies to hold accountable industries, municipalities, mining operations, or any other entities responsible for discharging pollutants into these rivers, detailing enforcement actions, compliance, and prosecutions, if any, undertaken. 2, the findings by NEMA, the Water Resources Authority, and other relevant government agencies regarding the sources, nature, and severity of contamination before the rivers flow into and through Kitui County, including the results of water quality monitoring conducted over the last 5 years. Number 3, safeguards for communities, outlining government interventions to protect farmers, livestock keepers, and households that depend on these rivers, including continuous water quality monitoring, public health advisories, environmental restoration programs, and support to affected farmers. And lastly, number 4, the long-term interventions describing policy, regulatory, and inter-county measures to eliminate pollution, restore ecological integrity, and guarantee safe water access for irrigation, livestock production, and domestic use. Mr. Speaker, I thank you, and I beg your indulgence again today, as I did yesterday, that the committee, Mr. Speaker, to which this statement shall be assigned, will move with speed to deal with this matter. That's a committee led by the Senator from Mombasa, Senator Faki. I thank you.
Senator Joe Nyutu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the operationalization of the Gikono landfill in Murang'a County. Mr. Speaker, sir, while the commissioning of the facility by the county government of Murang'a marks a significant milestone in improving solid waste management, concerns remain about the implementation of key environmental safeguards, security measures, and community relations that were integral to the project's design. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, whether the county government has commenced the 250-meter tree buffer around the landfill and give the expected timeline for completion. 2, the schedule for fencing the entire landfill to secure it against theft, vandalism, encroachment, and unauthorized access. 3, the budgetary provisions made for the establishment of the tree buffer and the construction of the perimeter fence, including the implementation schedule for both activities. 4, the strategies by the county government to ensure adherence to environmental and social impact assessment, ESIA, the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, EMCA, and the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, conditions alongside mechanisms for public participation, grievance redress, and fostering harmonious relations with neighboring communities. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, I want to allow comments for at least 20 minutes also. I want to start with Senator Modama. Senator Onyonka. Are you ready for comments or you are queuing for some other business?
I'm ready for comments.
Just under 2 minutes, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to comment on the statement for Senator Wambua Kitui about pollution of the rivers. Mr. Speaker, this is an issue that is countrywide. Most of the rivers are polluted, and I don't know what the committee would do to NEMA so that they can clean the rivers, and so that they can also deal with the people who are polluting the rivers. Mr. Speaker, I think the committee of Senator Seki should really call the NEMA, and I think, Mr. Speaker, NEMA should be called in this house, because now this week and even last week we were dealing with pollution of rivers. So never should be called in this house to come and answer why there is so much pollution of the rivers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni Kalwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by Professor about land use begs for a wider and more generalized answer. Mr. Speaker, we don't know at what stage the National Land Commission is usually involved. The country will remember, Mr. Speaker, when the government came up with the so-called affordable housing program, they just attacked property in towns. For example, if you go to Kakamega, one of the most affluent parts of the city is Milimani. It was attacked, houses were razed down. We supported because we thought the government knew what it was doing, only for it to end up using a half an acre of over 20 acres that were peeled down. Our town now looks like a city where there was a war because buildings have been destroyed. The so-called affordable houses have not been put up. This should not be allowed. The National Land Commission should be consolidated on such important issues. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by Senator Wambua, the Senator of Kitui, it is so important. I don't know the role played by the Ministry on Environment. Mr. Speaker, you go to, I had an opportunity 3 weeks ago to visit Ahero town to specifically, Mr. Speaker, inspect a flogger program. And Mr. Speaker, I found that the county government of Kisumu, using flogger funds, is actually
Senator Boni Korari, you know we said 2 minutes, but I want to add 30 seconds so that you conclude what you are just saying. Because you know comments are just a comment, not a debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your magnanimity. Mr. Speaker, the same thing applies to Kakamega. At Bukhulunya village in Kakamega town, where we have the dam that is supposed to handle sewage, the thing collapsed years ago. It has become a grazing ground for goats and pigs, Mr. Speaker. Raw sewer is just rotating in Kakamega town. Where is government? National level. Since the county government of Kakamega has collapsed anyway, the national government should come in and save us. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Beatrice Ogola.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to give a comment on the statement by the Senator of Kitui, Senator Enoch Wambua. Honorable Speaker, the issue of pollution must concern us as a country. And Honorable Speaker, because of lack of water, most of people along rivers use the water directly without treatment. They use it for domestic use, Honorable Speaker, and it is because of that Honorable Speaker, there are a lot of emerging diseases that are related to sanitation, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, the issue of pollution must not only be addressed by NEMA, but even as a country, we must enhance public education to our people to know that polluting the rivers is actually endangering their lives, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, once I was a CC in Homa Bay for environment, and there are people who would throw garbage on some rivers, and then the public would call me to tell me that we should be going to collect that baggage. But our people must know that taking care of themselves begin with their own management. So, Honorable Speaker, not only the environment should concern us about this pollution, but Honorable Speaker, it will add
to the cost of the treatment that our people are undertaking. And so, Honorable Speaker, I support this, and the ministry, the county government, NEMA, and the Ministry of Environment must combine all efforts to look at this, and not only in Kitui, but also in the whole country, Honorable Speaker. And lastly, on the statement by Senator Ojienda, Honorable Speaker, we need to know that land remains.
Senator Joe Nyutu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the statement by the Senator for Kitui, Senator Wambua, on pollution and the contamination of rivers, Mr. Speaker. This is something that cuts across the whole country. It may not be specific to Kitui County, Mr. Speaker, because you know rivers flow through several counties. Mr. Speaker, the major missing link has been NEMA. I am privileged to sit in the Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources, Mr. Speaker. And we have been to places. I remember you have visited Sukari Industries, somewhere in Ndiwa. And Mr. Speaker, found that NEMA had not done what they're supposed to do. Mr. Speaker, it's a big matter of great concern that rivers that flow ultimately to the Indian Ocean can be polluted and contaminated with NEMA doing nothing. Mr. Speaker, this will cause a problem not only to the users of the waters of these rivers, but also to marine life. Because at the end of the day, every other river in this country, Mr. Speaker, flows into the Indian Ocean. And so I support that the committee should take priority on this matter and see to it that we prevent these rivers, we protect them against further pollution, because we'll be risking the lives of people. Mr. Speaker, other than waterborne diseases that may come from this pollution and contamination, Mr. Speaker, we can get also other illnesses, especially because some of this contamination comes from industrial waste. And Mr. Speaker, could be this is the reason that we have had a rise in cases of cancers, Mr. Speaker. And I think I would want to urge my chair, Senator Faki, to give priority to this particular statement so that we can be able to protect our lives, the marine life, and the lives and health.
Senator Onyonka.
Speaker, I have actually been thinking about what Senator Wambua has talked about. And Mr. Speaker, I have an idea, I think, which might help us. Because, you know, we've been discussing this thing of NEMA for the last 3 weeks. Mr. Speaker, why can't the Environmental Committee of this House get out of here and just visit the country? You see, Mr. Speaker, what we have is that, like in Kisii, we only have one NEMA officer who is supposed to go through all the sewer, run through all the water systems in Kisii, making sure that he's looking at the trees which are being cut, and all these things we are talking about. And Mr. Speaker, my honest feeling actually is that, like we have said before, the way we've been having where the Senate goes to Mashinani, I think some of our committees, Mr. Speaker, we don't even have to be in this house. Can we go around our country and look at the mess we have created so that then we can come up with solutions which are practical, so that when we are discussing and looking at what needs to be done, the committee should just be making recommendations as to what we need to do. Because, Mr. Speaker, we have been coming to this house, and it's not just environmental matters. It is on water, it is on, I could name 20 things which are not going on well. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to say that I think let the committees visit the county governments, and then each committee can be writing a report. I don't see what we are doing here, sitting in this house every day doing nothing. We sit here doing nothing.
Senator Chalage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So he's making his comment. Use your
Speaker,
time
sir.
wisely. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I just want to call my brother Senator Onyonga to order, because the reason we sit here is a constitutional obligation under Article 96, and one of the roles is to do legislation. So I would want to appeal to him. He's one of the seasoned legislators. He should be well versed with what we do. I think he needs to capture that. I know he was with Matiang'i in the morning, but he needs to capture up to date. Mr. Speaker, secondly and finally, as a country, and I agree with Senator Professor Tom Ojenda on the issue of against conversion of agricultural land into commercial use, Mr. Speaker. Where I come from, we should push for what we call land consolidation policy. And I'm saying this knowing that Senator Professor Tom Ojenda is a land law lecturer who has written extensively on the principles of conveyancing in his book called Professor Tom Ojenda, I think the second edition, Mr. Speaker. As a country, the land does not expand. The limit, the growth that we have, 55.5 million Kenyans, will continue. And Mr. Speaker, that is why the wisdom of Dr. William Samoei Kipchirchir Arap Ruto for coming up with affordable housing. This is the reason. People who want to scrap for affordable housing should listen to this, Mr. Speaker. Because we cannot, even the Kisii, where you're coming from, Mr. Speaker, and Nyamira, people there are so many that there is no land to expand to. The solution is promoting affordable housing program, Mr. Speaker. And we must support the president so that we can ensure we have more agricultural land to produce more food. I'm wondering what our brothers are talking about when they want to scrap affordable housing. Where will you feed Kenyans from? Where will they? Most of them here close their doors when Kenyans go begging for food, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, therefore we must support their...
Senator Manzo. Senator Manzo has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for an opportunity to comment. I'd like to comment on the statement requested by Senator Wambua, the Senator for Kitui. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the two main rivers is Athi and Tana, and particularly Athi River, where Thwake Dam is being prepared. And I hope it's going to be finished in the future. It's going to be completed. Mr. Speaker, the pollution from Nairobi is extremely amazing, is a lot. And I remember the president commissioned some team to begin cleaning the rivers in Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, as soon as the president left, that team left. And the water continues to be polluted. And because of the industries, I believe, it has carcinogens. And this does not only go through Makueni and Kitui, it goes all the way to Kilifi, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, currently there's even pollution by plastics, plastic papers, plastic bottles, and all these go up to the ocean. Mr. Speaker, something has to be done quickly by NEMA. And I want to say that the last time I got some explanation from NEMA, they were talking of planting bamboo trees along the river, which I don't think is sufficient, Mr. Speaker. We need to deal with the symptoms, and we need to cure, the water pollution, particularly from Nairobi rivers. I don't think NEMA is doing, a serious job on this. It's not doing at all. It has relaxed on its job. And I think this House has to take serious measures against NEMA. If NEMA is not going to perform its tasks, I think, Mr. Speaker, it should be reconstituted, and we look for fresh team, fresh scientists to take matters seriously. I hope the problem is not funding. It should be funded well so that it can be able to clean out the rivers in Nairobi, clean out all the rivers, and apply the law, Mr. Speaker, so that the polluter pays. The polluter must pay. The companies which are polluting River Athi, Mr. Speaker, must pay. I thank you. I support.
Senator Joyce Korir. Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to comment on the statement sought by Professor Tom Ojenda on the issue of subdivision of agricultural land, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, food security is a serious matter for every nation, and continuous subdivision of agricultural land will put this country at risk of having to import food Honorable Speaker, when we are converting our rich soils for commercial purposes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to commend Senator Ojenda for this statement, and ask the House and the Committee for Lands that is going to consider this statement, that they consider amending the Land Act. Honorable Speaker, I speak from experience, knowing that this land function is a shared function between national government and county government. Honorable Speaker, because of that confusion, and because of the amendments in the Land Act that then abolished the land boards that were responsible for approving the subdivisions, Honorable Speaker, you would find surveyors, land officers carrying out subdivisions at the comfort of the offices, dismantling the much needed agricultural land, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Committee for Lands to be diligent and propose amendments so that where necessary, we can actually, as is now, stop any further subdivision of agricultural land in this country. If you move around our towns and our cities, Honorable Speaker, you will find a lot of empty spaces that have not been developed. And yet, we are going further from the towns, from the cities, to subdivide agricultural land. There is need for controlled expansion of towns so that agricultural land can be preserved for food production. I therefore want to second and support this statement and ask the Committee for Lands to consider limiting the subdivision of agricultural land. Thank you.
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I want to speak to the statement by the Senator for Kitui, Senator Wambua, on pollution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the concerns about environmental regulation and the powers bestowed upon NEMA under the Environmental Management and Coordination Act 1999 are important, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is also important to note that there are two other institutions that are created by EMCA, the Public Complaints Committee and the National Environment Tribunal, where, Mr. Speaker, I served for 6 years. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I understand the underpinnings around pollution. Mr. Speaker, the regulations that are set out that require the intervention of NEMA for various undertakings, Mr. Speaker, including compliance by factories, Mr. Speaker, and the problems of pollution, my Lord, Mr. Speaker, arise from the fact that, Mr. Speaker, there is no policing or supervision by NEMA to ensure that factories or industries do not discharge pollutants into rivers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this problem is not unique, Mr. Speaker, to the Tana River or the Athi River that flow into to the ocean, Mr. Speaker. But there has to be, Mr. Speaker, supervision by the arms of NEMA to ensure that what is finally discharged, Mr. Speaker, are not pollutants that endanger the lives of Kenyans, because our citizens, Mr. Speaker, drink directly from these rivers. Mr. Speaker, this problem is not unique to Kitui County, because, Mr. Speaker, in Kisumu County, we have factories that process sugarcane that also pollute rivers directly because there's no supervision by NEMA. NEMA, Mr. Speaker, needs a wing that will ensure that factories pollute only or discharge only water or waste that does not endanger the lives of citizens, Mr. Speaker. And this is a call not just because the law is there, it is simply the implementation of the law. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Abbas.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, I want to contribute to Mheshimiwa Wambua's statement. Mheshimiwa Speaker, actually what is happening in this country is actually, unfortunately, there's a lot of pollution. And NEMA has taken the back seat to control pollution in this country. It's not only in Kitui, it's all over this country. Honorable Speaker, if you go around and see the rivers in this country, most of them, especially in Nairobi and the big towns, is so polluted that you get disgusted to take water from there. Honorable Speaker, one other thing is that actually deforestation along the river banks is taking place so much that the river is polluted because of that activities. Honorable Speaker, one thing we need to do now is that we need to have a policy, and a serious one again, that can be enforced by NEMA, that all the river banks must be protected. That the rivers, people must not plow or farm 50 meters from the river banks, so that at least we can be able to contain those trees along the river bank, so to avoid too much pollution. Honorable Speaker, if you go to the other world, you see rivers passing in the middle of the cities, and they look so nice and so clean. So we can do that actually in this country also. Also, the other one, Honorable Speaker, I want also to contribute to Professor Ojeda's statement. Honorable Speaker, food security is very important in this country. This country actually is becoming we only receive food from outside. We are all becoming consumers. We cannot be able to make our own security for food production. Honorable Speaker, land subdivision should be stopped. 2, land for production of agriculture must be at least having a certain size, like 100 acres.
Senator Mohamed Faki. Chairman, we are coming to the close of the statements. How? Yes, Senator Medu.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I seek for your direction. Yesterday, when we were supposed to make comments on the statements that were sought, only 2 senators commented, and we only had 6 minutes before we adjourned. So I'm asking whether we can still comment on the statement that was sought yesterday because we didn't comment.
Senator Mwinyi Faki, Chairman, dealing with the NEMA. Tell us something about the NEMA. Every day there are NEMA issues in this house. Can you brief us on maybe your plan as the committee on NEMA issues? You remember the CS was here last week?
Yes,
and a lot of members, many members raised issues about NEMA.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remember last week the CS environment was present in the House, and even the answers that she gave were very unsatisfactory to the members who attended the session. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think we need a plenary to discuss the NEMA issues in this House, because if you look at the issues of pollution of rivers, pollution of the environment arising maybe from mining activities, pollution of the sea. For instance, in Mombasa, the Mombasa Water and Sanitation Company drains their sewers into the Indian Ocean. And even my colleague here, Senator Ososi, visited the Kipevu water treatment as a committee, and he saw firsthand that sewer is draining into the Indian Ocean. So, Mr. Speaker, I think whereas my committee is going to take up the issue, but we need a Kamukunji with the NEMA and the minister, the CS in charge of environment, present in this House, so that we can address all the issues that members have been raising over NEMA. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Athi River here, Athi River, all the are draining into the Athi River. Nairobi River also, although there are some plans which are ongoing to rehabilitate the Nairobi River, again, pollution is high in Athi River and in Nairobi. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a crisis, a national crisis, because most of the NEMA officials also who are working in our counties are part of the corruption cartels that feed into this problem. They are supposed to go and inspect, nobody goes to inspect. They are supposed to make closure orders, they don't make the closure orders. They are supposed to make reports to the ministry, nothing is done, Mr. Speaker. So we need this plenary with Akamukunji, with the CS and NEMA, so that we can make resolutions that will be undertaken by the NEMA and the CS environment. I can see the majority leader is frowning about this. But if you go also to Kericho, the same pollution happens. Ruvanyando, your tea factories in Kericho. The other day, Senator Nyutu was complaining about the waste from avocado factories in Muranga and Kibos Sugar being drained into Ruvanyando and into the Maji Mazuri in Muranga. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a crisis. We need to do something about it. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, if I had your instructions to the chairperson, it was to propose a way forward to the House. But he has rewritten the Book of Lamentations, Mr. Speaker, and added a new chapter, just pouring the misery which we are already aware of. What we are expecting to hear from the chair, Mr. Speaker, is what is the proposed way forward, so that as a House we can assist him.
He has put across a proposal, Majority Leader, on the senators. All of us cannot be chairs at the same time. So I want to guide to inform the Majority Leader from my seat. He gave an undertaking to have the CS and the NEMA team appear before the Senate in a Kamukunji way, so that all of us can be able to engage NEMA. The CS was here last week and she was not able to explain a lot on NEMA issues. So I think that is a reform, but then maybe a commitment on when, after how long? Senator Wambua.
Next week. Subject. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for that direction on the need to have a session with NEMA and the ministry to discuss these issues. But, Mr. Speaker, can I request that, because when we call those people here, they will come here with data that they have generated from boardrooms or from wherever they have generated it from. The Speaker, can I suggest that because Tana River and Athi River and those other areas, Nairobi River, they are not very far. The committee can commit, this is a national crisis. The committee can commit even tomorrow to visit these sites, so that even as we call this, the NEMA and the CS, we also have our own in-house generated information on what is happening. So just don't rely on them to come and tell us what they are doing and what they have not done. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, let us take this matter a lot more seriously than the way we have treated other statements. This country is being poisoned, and NEMA is just watching. I thank Mr. Speaker.
I want to give two members, one from this end and another this on my left, to make their comments on statements, and then we close at that point. Yes, Senator Boni.
Mic, please. Yes. Mr. Speaker, the matter raised by the leader of the majority in response to the comments by the chairman requires that the Speaker gives direction. Mr. Speaker, the meaning of the leader of the majority in the Senate is that he is the leader of government business in the Senate.
Senator
Mr. Speaker,
Abbas,
please, 1
Senator
minute.
Abbas, you should not stand between the
Yes,
member contributing and the chair.
Means that
so that
he
I can
is the
engage you.
leader of government business in this House. Mr. Speaker, how the leader of the government business can challenge a legitimate proposal by the chairman on the failures of his own government and not lead the House in ensuring that the minister is brought here begs for the question.
Senator Mbona,
Is Senator Aaron Cheriot performing the functions of the leader of government business in this House, or he is on a personal agenda like financing World Cup trips to go and watch football in the US, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Mboni Karore, you are out of order. Have your seat. Have your seat. Senator Boni, you know once the chair directs the House on the way forward, I think the majority leader is actually relegating a lot of influence and duties to the chairs of committees. And the chair of the committee is a renowned, a very progressive chair. Actually, the chair lands and environment, he has really performed more than the former chair. It's just because of the handicap issue, you can clarify whether you are...
Good. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thought I explained myself in very plain and simple English that I wanted to hear the way forward that the chairperson was proposing to the House. How Senator Boni has interpreted that to delegation of responsibility, Mr. Speaker, leaves a lot of questions to the House. To the best of my knowledge, Mr. Speaker, I know Senator Boni is a lover of some colorless liquid, which is not allowed into the House, Mr. Speaker. But I wonder if today he has sneaked into the House while having consumed it, because otherwise, Mr. Speaker, how else do you explain the confusion?
No, nothing is out of order now. No. Senator Mwenda Kataya, take your 2 minutes to make comments on your statement. You know we cannot spend the afternoon on points of order.
Give me the mic. Thank you. Thank you,
There's a
Honorable
lot
Speaker.
of business ahead of us.
Honorable Speaker, can I be heard in silence, please? Honorable Speaker, I want to support the statement of Honorable Senator Wambua of Kitui. Though he has qualified himself to Kitui, Honorable Speaker, this is a national matter. You know, pollution has become very, very, very disastrous in this country. You know, this matter, Honorable Speaker, needs a special session for discussion. It's not something that we are just taking just lightly. We need a special sitting for this matter, Honorable Speaker, because we have been all over the country, and this country is not heading towards the right direction. Honorable Speaker, the so-called NEMA is not even, doesn't even have the capacity Honorable Speaker, to tame. We need to enhance the capacity of NEMA. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, this community, Kenya, the Kenyans are very disciplined in terms of pollution. We are very disciplined as a country, as a nation. You know, Honorable Speaker, it is shocking that you find even some very distinguished members of society even throwing littering all over, even throwing some dirt in the rivers. Honorable Speaker, it's a matter that needs some serious conversation. It's not an issue, Honorable Speaker, that we can just bring a statement and decide that we have just solved those problems, or maybe we parade them here. It's an issue, Honorable Speaker, that requires a whole topic, because this country is not heading towards the right direction. We have so many rivers, Honorable Speaker, that even the fish are dying because they cannot even exist in those environments. So it's an issue, Honorable Speaker, that I want to congratulate Senator Wambua, though he has qualified himself to Kitui. It's a national issue, Honorable Speaker, that cuts across all the counties in this country. And I think Senator Faki, who ends that in Department of Environment and Lands, should move with a lot of speed and make sure that we parade all those stakeholders.
Okay, last but not the least, on statements, make your comments, Senator Kongo Mugeni, as we conclude that business.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to make a comment on the statement by the Senator of Kisumu on subdivision and conversion of agricultural land to commercial. You know, Mr. Speaker, unless we understand the frustration that we have put the Kenyan farmers into by failing to support agriculture, this problem of subdivision will never die away. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you are paying tea farmers in Kericho, in Kisii, in Nyamira, in Bomet, bonus of 12,000 shillings, what do you expect? They will convert their houses, their land into commercial, so that they build commercial homes, apartments, to get better income. So if the government wants to address the problem of this issue of subdivision, go and support the income of farmers. And I want to tell Senator Cheragei, if you want to do affordable housing, you should understand the person who needs affordable housing. If you want to do affordable housing in Kisii, because you mentioned Kisii and Nyamira, go to the villages, find the people of that locality who are staying in grass-thatched houses, build homes for them. Then you can tell us you are doing affordable housing. But just going to cities, yes, but just going to Nairobi to do affordable housing so that people who have companies get money, supply cement, that will not help. So, Professor Ojenda, your statement is good, it's commendable, but the solution is we must find a way of putting money into the pockets of our farmers. If we don't do that, they will look for alternative means of getting income from their land, because the Constitution allows them to own their land and to do whatever they want on that land. Unless, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, that is done, we'll
Honorable Senators, I have a communication from the Chair about the visiting delegation of teachers and students from St. Lucia Irobo Junior School, Kakamega County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 8 teachers and 44 students. Honorable Senators, please listen. Order, Senator Khalwade, you need to listen to this. I'll begin again. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 8 teachers and 44 students from St. Lucia Irobo in Kakamega County, who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit to the Senate. I thank you and would like to invite Honorable Boni Khalwade to also welcome them.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you, and before I invite the children to follow the proceedings, just to bring it to the attention, Madam Speaker, that the Speaker this afternoon, the distinguished Senator, Senator Catherine Muma, is a daughter of the same village that you come from. But because, thanks to her excessive beauty, she managed to get married in the neighborhood. Yes, who are our good in-laws and neighbors. Yes. Madam Speaker, I think it is for the benefit of this House to know that Irobo Primary School, where these children have come from, is the same primary school that the late Teresa Shitaga went to school. The husband of Shitaga went to that primary school and then married Shitaga from Ekolomani. We buried Shitaga. a few weeks ago at the advanced age of 99 years. But she has left a record, young children, as I spoke in that funeral your parents had, that she was the first Luhya woman, the first woman in the greater Western Kenya to seek to become a member of parliament, but she did not succeed. Because of that great asset, I want to encourage the girl child in Kakamega and in Shinyalu in particular, where Mama came from, to ensure that one of you will one day come to parliament, not through affirmative action. No, you prove that you can beat men. I thank you, Madam Chair, and allow me to promise them that after we finish, I'll meet them at the back so that we can speak in Kiluya. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think you're late for the point of order. He's already finished. Senator Hezena, what is your intervention?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know we really respect Senator, the bullfighter, Boni Halwale. But Madam Chair, he's seeing that the chair right at this moment is also a lady from Mulembe Nation, who is here through affirmative action. Is Senator Boni Halwale undermining the women who get to parliament through affirmative action? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Halwale, in 1 minute, please confirm that you have respect for members of the Senate or Parliament who are here through affirmative action.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Order, senators.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I am the only member of Parliament in this House who was a part of the drafting of the Constitution that created affirmative action. And Madam Speaker, it is because of the acknowledgement that women and youth are faced with challenges that we gave you that opportunity. And I'm saying the people who have been nominated, when you are there for one term, vacate so that others get, you come and now compete, which was the intention of that particular clause. Madam Speaker, I respect, as a husband of several wives and a father of very many children, most of them girls, what would I have against them? Thank you, Madam Speaker. Don't quarrel.
Senator Halwale, thank you for confirming that members who are nominated are equal and useful members of this House. Senator Cherargei, what is your issue?
Madam Speaker.
Order majority.
Madam Speaker, on a point of intervention and follow-up, Madam Speaker, I want to confirm we are proud of all members who come to the House through affirmative action, and they are even doing more than even elected members. Madam Speaker, let me make the following. Today at the gate I have received a memorandum on the urgent resolution of stalemate regarding the assumption of UHC and Global Fund staff, gratuity payments, wrong job grading, and unimplemented return to work formula. Madam Speaker, this together with the minority leader we did receive, Madam Speaker, and the prayers, just in quick submission so that I can table, is that the Council of Governors leadership to account for delays in payroll, data transfer, county absorption frameworks, and widespread refusal of county governments to negotiate CBS. The second is the Cabinet Secretary of Ministry of Health to explain the implementation status of transition frameworks and to resolution of 14-day strike notice grievance and safeguarding of health work, and the Cabinet Treasury, National Treasury, to address structural shift funds.
Senator Cherargei, Senator Cherargei, let me guide you. You don't need to read it, Honorable Senators.
Okay.
This is a petition that Senator Cherargei, together with Minority Leader, received by the a group of people who brought it at the gate. I think all you need to do is table it, and we will refer it to the relevant committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I remember the last communication is that when you are tabling something, at least you must tell the House what it is so that...
No, you already actually introduced it. You already introduced what it was. You don't have to read it. Yeah.
Okay. Madam Speaker, with your indulgence, I request that I table this petition and request there was an earlier petition we tabled last time on similar issue. Can you...
No. You, Senator Cherargei, yes. We are focusing on this particular petition, please.
Madam Speaker, I beg to table and request for your indulgence through the Health Committee to fast track. I thank you.
Thank you.
Table.
Senator Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I have a concern on the process that has been followed on this petition. And this has nothing to do with the substance in the petition, but the procedure that you're allowing. Constitutionally, members of the public are allowed to petition this House, which is perfectly in order. But I am concerned, Mr. Speaker, in the manner in which petitions are processed and brought to this House. These present petitioners that now are conveying their message through the Minority Leader and Senator Cherargei, they came before Parliament this afternoon at around 1:30, I think in a hired vehicle together with loudspeakers and the same, blocked the entry and said that until they are listened to, they were not going to move. And members of this House had to find other ways with which to come to the House. I am now surprised, Mr. Speaker, that they actually know of a better way of presenting a petition to Parliament other than what they highlighted. By receiving the petition, Mr. Speaker, we are doing what we are supposed to do. But shouldn't it also, Mr. Speaker, by way of feedback, apologies, Madam Speaker, shouldn't we as a House then equally guide them that in presenting, because there are many other citizens who exercise this democratic right in a different way. There is a Mr. I think Musundu or Musindi, Musundu or Musundi, who always petitions this House, Mr. Speaker. He sends his petition and his matters are considered. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, we'll find ourselves in a situation where citizens will imagine that that is the best way to get your matters fast-tracked in Parliament. That you come, block the entrance, and by that afternoon, that matter will be presented before the floor of the House. I am afraid that it is not a good precedence, Madam Speaker, and this is something that needs to be checked and guided accordingly. Otherwise, we are setting a not very good precedent. And, Madam Speaker, that is just my concern on the process, not on the petition itself. I thank you.
Thank you, Majority Leader, for your concern. Honorable Senators, allow me to guide that this petition be submitted to the Secretariat to process, and before it goes onwards to the relevant committee. I'd like to, I believe my recollection of the provisions of the Constitution are that the petition can be brought as it is brought. The petition can also be brought physically through a procession, and I think there is nothing wrong with that. What we need to guide the public is that that procession must be peaceful and should not be disruptive. So it is acceptable for a procession to come to Parliament and bring the petition, so long as they do it peacefully without disruption. And I think it is our duty to receive that petition as a House. So I would guide to blend the processes as provided in the standing order, the petition be received by the Secretariat and processed accordingly. Thank you. Honorable Senators, allow me to reorganize the order paper for the day so that we can move on to order number 16. Senator Wambua, what is your issue?
Madam Speaker, thank you for your indulgence. It's just on the same issue, and I know you are giving direction to it. I think, Madam Speaker, the direction that we need and the guidance that we need from the Chair is that there is there is a single door through which all matters that are processed on the floor must follow. That yes, we can do our procession peaceful, that's what it should be. The leaders can receive documents petitioning us on any issue on the land, but that matter, for it to be properly before the House, it must be processed through the office of the Speaker and the office of the Clerk of the Senate. Otherwise, what will happen, Mr. Speaker, is that tomorrow I will also get a petition from people from Kitui on the pollution of the river Athi and Tana, and I will come and read it here without it being processed through the proper channels. I think that guidance is important, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Wambua. You are just reiterating what I have said, and you will recall I stopped Senator Cherargei from reading the petition and asked that he just tables it. So allow that we proceed to the next order. Senator for Nairobi, Senator Sifuna.
You know, Madam Speaker, I'm an ardent defender of the rights under Article 37 and the right to petition Parliament. Processions by their nature are very disruptive. Of course, we are allowed only certain restrictions under 37, that you be peaceable and unarmed. But you can be noisy, Honorable Speaker, when petitioning. So I feel like the directive that the Speaker has given is a bit restrictive to people who would want to petition Parliament, because previously I know that our attention has been brought to the presence of petitioners outside our gate through vuvuzelas, which can be very disruptive, and the Speaker has sent us to receive those petitions. So, Madam Speaker, I fear that that direction that you've given might have gone a bit too far. Processions by their nature, they are disruptive to flow of traffic, they are disruptive to ordinary life, but that is what the Constitution expects.
Honorable Senators, I think the Senator for Nairobi is right that the provision in the Constitution talks about peaceful procession and unarmed. So to the extent that they are peaceful and unarmed, I think those processions should be acceptable. That is agreed. Can we move on now to Senator Kathuri? No, sorry, order number 16.
Order number 16, the County Government Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 52 of 2024, second reading.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to move this bill. And I beg to move that the County Government's Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 52 of 2024, be lent the second time. Honorable Speaker, this bill actually touches on the work and the responsibilities of the deputy governors, who you very well know that, Madam Speaker, they live under a lot of pressure from the governors. So this bill is actually trying to see how, Madam Speaker, can you kindly allow my thoughts to flow properly by protecting me from Senator Medu can move even to the back side.
Give me, honorable senators, majority leader, please. Kindly, Senator for Kakamega and majority leader, can we let us accord some respect to the senator who's reading the bill? Let us listen, please.
So, Madam Speaker, I was saying, I meant that the County Government Laws Amendment Bill, this amendment to the Act of Parliament is to amend and allow the County Government Acts to provide for specific functions for the Office of the Deputy Governor, and also to amend the Intergovernmental Relations Act and for connected purposes. I send, Madam Speaker, that the deputy governors, all the senators here, are aware that currently, with the statistics that I have, because we engaged the deputy governors during the stakeholders forum, 42 deputy governors are not seeing eye to eye with their governors. And Madam Speaker, you know these people, these two leaders, are always elected together. They sit down and agree on how they will be able to mass all the votes so that they can get to the office. But once they get to the office, Madam Speaker, you know what happens. What happens when they get to the office? Immediately, then governors chase away the deputy governors. You remember, even I think almost 2 deputy governors have been brought here on impeachments. Yeah? So, Madam Speaker, this is a very important bill touching on devolution.
Senator Kathuri, did you actually move that the bill be read a second time?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Madam
Okay,
Speaker,
that's fine. Proceed.
I did. You know, I'm only registered Senator Catherine, the Madam Speaker. I did that, but you know there was a lot of noise from my backyard. So I sent the bill to be read the second time, and the answer will bear me witness. So, Madam Speaker, what I said is that what this bill is proposing to do, and all senators in this room, in this house, they know the problems that we have with the deputy governors and the governors. Madam Speaker, number one, what I am proposing to do is to accord the deputy governors the functions, including the general administration of the county government and overseeing the implementation of county executive committee decisions. Madam Speaker, I am also proposing that they undertake the functions of a specified appointed position in the county's executive committee as may be assigned by the governor. And also represent the governors and the county government in various official capacities in the national and the county levels of government. You know, Madam Speaker, at the moment, there is no deputy governor who can represent the governor in the Council of Governors. They have completely refused. And therefore, the deputy governors are left like, I don't want to say flangers because it is a very sensitive issue, and I can see my colleague is here, who is a defender of the girls. I don't want to use the word flower girls, but also nowadays they are flower boys, Madam Speaker. But I want to say deputy governors are being reduced.
Senator Kathuri, we don't have flower boys, we have page boys.
No, I meant flower boys in another connotation. No, I'm not referring to the weddings, Madam Speaker. They are men and boys who have become flower boys. No. I know what I mean.
Proceed, Senator.
So I don't want to be very specific on a particular...
Senator Sige, what is your point of order?
Okay, thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity. This is actually a point of clarification, Chair. Senator, of course, for Meru, as he's a very seasoned legislator, as he has told us, will understand that this House is visible to the public. And in fact, we're not here to talk to each other or to ourselves, but we're here to educate the general public across the country. So when he says that he knows what he means when he is saying flower boys and flower girls, I don't understand how that would then educate the public on the bill that he is trying to move, because he needs to make sure that all of us understand and move with him in one accord. So may he explain and clarify what he means by flower girls and flower boys in county government, so that all of us, including the public, can be well informed. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Kathuri, please explain who the flower boys
For the benefit of time, you know, I really want to manage time nicely. Since they will not understand what I meant, Madam Speaker, I will withdraw.
Senator, the chair, or you want to withdraw?
That bit.
Thank you.
So that we can make progress, and I want members to speak on this important bill before we go too far. So, Madam Speaker, I said that we want also deputy governors to facilitate and maintain effective intergovernmental relations. And I was explaining that there is no governor who would allow a deputy governor to represent him or her in the national forums that they sit with the deputy presidents, with the president, even if they are incapacitated. They have agreed never to allow deputy governors to do anything outside the county. So this bill, Madam Speaker, and I want to quote one gentleman called Professor Ben Nwabweze, who said, concentration of government powers in the hands of one individual is the very definition of dictatorship. And absolute power is by its very nature capricious and despotic. So, Madam Speaker, the concentration of power within the office of the governor, because I was trying to do an analysis, what happens when we elect the president? When the president is elected, he is very magnanimous to give a lot of work to the deputy presidents. And the reason why even these deputy governors are suffering is because most of the county governors are not assigning them budgets to run their offices. So that is why sometimes even these guys, sometimes even they buy tea from themselves to run the office. They do so many things, even the cars. Sometimes they fuel themselves, Madam Speaker, because they have no budget for their offices. In the National Treasury, the Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee allocates money to both the office of the President and the office of the Deputy President. Therefore, this bill will compel even the county assemblies to allow governors to allocate money to run the deputy governor's offices. Madam Speaker, I remember sometimes when we had issues in Meru, the deputy governor, water was disconnected, electricity, power was disconnected, he had no vehicle. He didn't survive miraculously. And therefore, all these deputy governors have come together and they are seeking and requesting this House to pass this bill so that they can be able to function properly. Some of these deputy governors are professionals, but their work, they don't have anything to do. They are professionals, they can contribute a lot in the respective county governments, but Madam Speaker, they are not allowed to do anything. So, Madam Speaker, this bill has come the right time. Actually, we were to handle this bill when we were in Busia, but unfortunately, that was the best forum to discuss about it. But now, you can see, Madam Speaker, this is the right time. And so far, for the Senate, this one we are in, has considered the removal from office of Honorable Dr. William Odwall, the Deputy Governor of Siaya County, and Honorable Dr. Robert Monda, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County. And in both impeachments, reviewing the gap in the law due to a lack of clear functions and the laws of deputy governors. In many counties, this has contributed to rising tensions between governors and their deputies, which has actually destabilized the delivery of services in the county governments. So many seats is unfortunate. They don't get messages when the cabinet is sitting. It is that bad, Madam Speaker. And therefore, once this bill is enacted by the Senate and assented to by the President, it will do a lot of good to our devolution. And Madam Speaker, since the Senate is meant to protect devolution, to protect the counties and the county governments, this bill sits properly. The Parliament used to queue at the office of the President so that they can get their money from the executive. So this is what actually we have been able to accord our county assemblies. And now they are happy. And also this other one, for the deputy governors, let us support these gentlemen. We know they are suffering from where we come from. And therefore, Madam Speaker, this is a very straightforward bill, which I don't want to take a lot of time because I can see my colleagues are really queuing. And I want to move and ask Senator Chalagay to second this bill. Thank you.
Senator Chalagay, before you second, allow me to make this communication. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, I would like to 108 students from Tenwek High School in Bomet County who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. I would now quickly like to allow Senator Sigei to
the teachers for taking this opportunity to bring them here to learn on how the business of this house is being conducted. And I want to say that this is also a school that has produced a number of leaders, just as been said by the Honorable Senator. This is one of the schools where my father-in-law was a student there. My husband was also a student there. My firstborn son was also a student there. So it's a school that has made us proud of. And I want to say that we wish them all the best, and I welcome them to this house. This is where they belong. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I see Senator Onyonka frantically asking. I don't know what his connection is, but Senator Onyonka, 1 minute, please.
Madam Speaker, I wanted to say that I also share a history with Tenwek. I think I should say something. That I know Honorable Cherargei does not realize that, as he keeps saying how Matiang'i is a bad man, many of our patients actually go to Tenwek Hospital, which is one of the best hospitals in Kenya. And I want to tell the young men and the teachers up here that we are very proud that that hospital has actually been providing services to our people. Mr. Cherargei, could you please clap for me for being so intelligent? Thank you, Madam Chair.
I wish to confirm that Tenwek is an excellent hospital. Senator Cherargei, you may now second the
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I second this amendment bill to the county government's amendment law of 2024, Madam Speaker, while I appreciate the nexus that Senator Onyonga is trying to create, but all the same, Madam Speaker, let me extend a warm welcome to the teachers and students of Tenwek Boys High School. We are proud. I think it's one of the best schools in the country. Of course, Kapsabet Boys being the top where I went to school, and I want to encourage them to keep the spirit coming, because, Madam Speaker, Kapsabet Boys, we have produced 2 presidents, the 5th president, Dr. William Ruto, and the former President Moi. And of course, you as truly. So please work hard. We want to see you up there. And we are proud that you are senator. He doesn't say senator, you are senator, who is your presidium, Madam Speaker, is also a proud alma-mater of that school and one of the top lawyer in the country, and also Senator Commissioner Joyce Korir. I wish I would have joined you on Saturday to celebrate. Thank you.
I hope his time is running.
Yes, of course it's running, Madam Speaker. I would have joined you on Saturday, but because of course, your senator knows why. Madam Speaker, let me begin by seconding. I have received so many phone calls from deputy governors, especially my brother, the distinguished Senator of Meru, Jurinjeke Elder, the Deputy Speaker, seasoned legislator, Katuri Murungi, Kadhuri, and also one of the proponents of Mount Kenya East, Madam Speaker, has ably put it, and Mount Kenya East spokesperson has ably put it, that most of our deputy governors have been reduced to reading newspapers, Madam Speaker. And you know, nowadays there are some national newspapers, like the one of Standard Group, which gives us funny and interesting stories that do not add up. They like reading, so they have been reduced to taking water, reading newspapers, waiting for lunch time to go. But one thing, their offices are running dry. They don't have official vehicles, they don't have fuel, they don't have office allocation, they don't have anything, Madam Speaker. And you have to appreciate that most of the deputy governors are suffering from depression. Because if a governor notices that you are a threat to their political dominance in the county, they would want to vanquish you, Madam Speaker. I remember the story of Dr. Robert Monda from Kisii, where there was political witch hunt until he was ousted out of office. And therefore, we must agree. I remember the deputy governor of Uasin Gishu, Engineer Bararot, was politically hounded out of the office through frustration, lack of cars, and many others, Madam Speaker. I remember the impeachment of engineer CPA William Odwal. The impeachment came to this house of Siaya. He was politically hounded out by the governor, James Orengo, and the rest, until he's now frustrated. He can access the house. The petition is on the house, Madam Speaker. And you, Madam Speaker, you sit in devolution committee.
What is the point of order? Senator Eddy.
Madam Speaker, I am rising under point of order number 101 on imputing improper motive. Madam Speaker, you know the impeachment process of deputy governors affect this house both in reputation and on duty.
Senator Eddy, when you are raising a point of order, you go straight to the offending.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to. Right?
No, you seem to be laying some background on something. Just go to the offending bit, please.
Madam Speaker, I don't know whether you got what the senator for Nandia said, that in the impeachment of Dr. Monda of Kisii, it was a political witch hunt. And Madam Speaker, when he says that, and this House pronounced itself on the issue of Dr. Monda and impeach Dr. Monda, doesn't it impute improper motive in the entire House, Madam Speaker, that went through that case and impeached Dr. Monda? Because then, if you say it was a political witch hunt, then it affects the House that made that same decision, Madam Speaker.
That is true. Senator Cherargei, you will explain how the impeachment of Dr. Monda was a political witch hunt, and provide evidence. And if you don't have that evidence, please withdraw and proceed with you.
Madam Speaker, impeachment is a political process. I expected the new deputy minority whip to be well versed. Madam Speaker, I am saying it is part of political process, which is attributed.
Senator Cherargei,
attributed.
Senator, please substantiate that it was a witch hunt. That is actually what we're saying. Everybody knows it is a political
Let
process
me replace
as well.
with the word it was a political process.
Withdraw the words witch hunt.
So I withdraw with the word witch hunt and replace it with political process.
That is okay.
Which is the impeachment, which was, which when you go, you will understand the dynamics, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, what I'm just saying is that most of these processes, even the CPA William Odwal, sorry, of Siaya, and I know your committee, it's lucky that you are a member of devolution, I think you are the vice chairperson, has even petitioned your committee on inaccessibility to his office. After the impeachment failed, the governor and his people have blocked access to CPA William Odwal, who is the duly deputy governor of Siaya, even after the House rejected his impeachment. Similar to what happened, Madam Speaker, even on Engineer Parorot, the deputy governor of Wazingishu, was subjected to political machinations until he was forced out of office, Madam Speaker. You remember even we have limbo in Kericho, and I wish the majority leader was here. The engineer Fred Kirui, and don't see eye to eye with the governor. The deputy governor has never been allowed by the governor to access the office. The office has been blocked. There is no official vehicle. There is no fuel, Madam Speaker. And it is very sad that we are subjecting deputy governors to such inhuman process, Madam Speaker. And it is sad, even I've just seen Kericho County, Madam Speaker, this is the only county where they have closed their county referral hospital, Madam Speaker, today, where many people have called me to complain, because in this bill, we are proposing the liaison, the link, Madam Speaker, in this amendment between the county government and, so you can see Kericho, Madam Speaker, and I always wonder, health is a devolved function. Why would you close a county referral hospital like what has happened in Kericho? And we hope by the close of business, Kericho County Referral Hospital must be open, because it's serving people from Kisii, Nyamira, and the entire of South Rift, Madam Speaker. So Engineer Fred Crew cannot access his office, Madam Speaker. So what we are trying to do, Madam Speaker, is to ensure that we give opportunity to deputy governors. Madam Speaker, if you are lucky to have a boss like Dr. William Ruto, I remember even the impeached deputy president, the president even allowed him a budget, allowed him to chair subcommittees of cabinet, allowed him to chair cabinet meetings, Madam Speaker. Even we have seen, Madam Speaker, Professor Kithure Kindiki. If you get
what is your point of order, Senator Methu?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And mine will be very, very quick, actually. I didn't want to disrupt the flow of thought of Senator Cherargei, because that is what he does to all of us. So I didn't want to serve him his own medicine. But when he says that the president allowed him some budget, that is where I would want him to substantiate, because I thought the budget making process is a preserve of parliament. I thought it is our parliament that does all the budgets of all government agencies in the republic.
Madam Speaker, I didn't say on the budget. I said allowed him to chair some committee of the cabinet, some committees of cabinet.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Point of order.
Yes, Senator Methu.
I think Hansard can be produced so that we actually know what he exactly said. Because Senator Cherargei...
Senator Cherargei, can you sit down so that...
Because Senator Cherargei actually said the president allowed him some budget. That is exactly what I heard. So if he is disputing that that is not what he said, Hansard can be produced.
Senator Cherargei, let's not pull and push.
Yes.
You know what you said, and you know whether it's appropriate or not, so you can withdraw. Very simple.
Madam Speaker, the budgetary making process generates from the executive. And the finance and budget member is here, Senator Minority Whip. Deputy, yes, Senator Eddie can inform me on the budget making process. You wanted to inform me?
No, you were actually, sorry.
You wanted to inform yourself?
Sorry, just proceed.
Okay. But what I'm saying, if you get a good boss, like President William Ruto, even the impeached deputy president was allowed a latitude to office operations, including sub-county. He was able to chair cabinet meetings, subcommittees of the cabinet. He was allowed office operations to do as per the law. Yet, under the constitution, the deputy president is a principal assistant of the president. Even the current Professor Kithure Kindiki has now latitude of the office operations. In fact, he has been allowed to chair some committees of the cabinet. I know of governors who works very well with their deputy governors. Madam Speaker, what we are trying to do is put it in the law. We are not being prescriptive, but we want to assist deputy governors, because when you meet most of them, and later I would like to return to Senator Beatrice Ogola, who was a CC in the previous, and Senator Karungo Atangwa, although he was impeached, to listen to their reasoning. How our cabinet...
What's your point of order, Senator Thangwa?
Madam Speaker, I don't know why we keep on entertaining this noisemaker, Madam Speaker. Because every time, instead of discussing substantive issues, he's always bringing drama in the Senate. Madam Speaker, I'm in this Senate elected by the people of Kiambu. And
Senator
the law
Thangwa.
is very clear. If you are impeached, you should not be elected. But I was elected and I'm here, Madam Speaker.
Senator
I do not
Thangwa.
understand. He should come here and apologize. And we should not allow Senator Cherargei to be using this Senate to come and use the regulatory terms and come and demean people. Yesterday we were called grasshoppers, Madam Speaker. In Rwanda, they call people cockroaches. And that's why people fought,
Senator
Madam
Thangwa,
Speaker.
Senator Thangwa,
we should not allow,
order,
and it should not
Senator
happen,
Thangwa.
Madam Speaker.
Order, Senator Thangwa, you can sit. Senator Cherargei, do you have any evidence that Senator Thangwa was ever impeached? And please confirm that you have evidence he was impeached. If you don't have that evidence, please withdraw.
Madam Speaker, I would have wished that there are no noisemakers on the Senate. Maybe they escaped your...
Senator Cherargei, you'll be guided by the chair, after which then you can raise whatever issues.
What I'm doing, I have all the facts. He was impeached. I can table tomorrow.
So you can?
Yes, I will
so
table.
Tomorrow, at tomorrow's session, yes, Senator Cherargei will table evidence that he has of Senator Thangwa being impeached.
Yes. What about the noisemaker part? Can you withdraw? There are no noisemakers.
Senator Thangwa, please withdraw the reference to noisemakers, please. Senator Methu, I can hear what you're saying. You are asking him to defy the chair, which is not right. Please just withdraw and let us proceed.
Madam Speaker, I withdraw the use of noisemaker and instead say he makes a lot of noise.
Senator Thangwa, that is, I have not accepted that. Please just withdraw.
Madam Speaker, it's only that I respect you, but I don't respect Senator Cherargei. I withdraw.
Senator, just withdraw. Yeah. Okay, Senator Cherargei, you realize you are spending most of the time not speaking to the bill. Actually, you might want to help yourself on this.
Madam Speaker, the rules of debate are very clear, and I'm allowed in the next few minutes to canvass and give real-life examples. We need to interrelate of what we are legislating on what is happening on the ground, Madam Speaker, and therefore I will restrict myself, Madam Speaker, as guided, and thank you for that, Madam Speaker. So we are looking at deputy governors who can work simultaneously, and that is why I was saying it was in good faith, Madam Speaker, that we were arguing that I would want to listen to people who have become CCMs in counties so that they can tell us what really goes on, Madam Speaker. But because I know a number of governors have worked very well with their functions, county executive member, we are proposing that a DG can be given a position to be a CCM or county executive in charge of any department and participate. We are also aware that they can represent governors in various official capacities, national and county governments, including even funerals and birthday parties, but also national and county official functions. Because I have seen most of the deputy governors, Madam Speaker, when you are in social functions, they want to insist, even in mourning somebody, they want to say they represent the governor in giving the condolences, Madam Speaker. I don't know the relation, but we are proposing that, Madam Speaker, that official and county functions, Madam Speaker. We are also proposing that we have intergovernmental relations as a member, maintain effective, Madam Speaker. We are aware that there are many challenges, Madam Speaker, that face county governments, especially in the issues of assets management, issues of transfer of liabilities, and preparing an asset register, Madam Speaker. And therefore, we are proposing through Senator Katuri's bill that we look and ensure that they become of intergovernmental. Madam Speaker, we are aware also that whenever a governor is failing to attend inter-economic budget forum that is chaired by the Deputy President, they are allowed to sit in the summit, and we are proposing that they should be there by law. It doesn't mean that if the governor and deputy governor don't see eye to eye, Madam Speaker, they cannot be allowed to ensure that they appear. So we are proposing, Madam Speaker, that they can sit in the summit that is chaired by the President in the IBEC. Madam Speaker, we are proposing that the deputy governor can appear before a county assembly on accountability and transparency matters, so that they can appear alongside CCM of Finance, especially on the audit reports, Madam Speaker, as envisaged in Article 229 of the Constitution of Kenya, where audit reports are normally generated and transmitted to the county assemblies and parliament, Madam Speaker. We are also proposing that they become part of the budgetary implementation and monitoring, especially in public participation, the finance bills that are generated by counties, Madam Speaker, so that we can ensure accountability in the running of the counties, Madam Speaker. We are also proposing, like Musalia, Prime Cabinet Secretary Office, to create a liaison between the county executive and the county assembly. You are aware the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has created an office that, like a liaison between the parliament and the executive. And therefore, we are proposing that the deputy governor can be given that role so that they ensure that the bills, the motions, or the issues that are being raised at the county assembly, Madam Speaker, can be done and can be equated to that. So we are proposing, like a liaison office, to create a link, Madam Speaker. And therefore, in a nutshell, Madam Speaker, because I want my colleagues to contribute, we are giving, Madam Speaker, I know most governors are doing this, and we appreciate them. My observation, because Dr. Owili, the deputy governor of Kisumu, is my good friend, I have seen him fairly working very well with Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, which is very impressive, representing them in many functions, both official and unofficial functions, Madam Speaker. We want counties to work together. These functions, Madam Speaker, there are some governors who are doing it. And I've given an example of President William Ruto. What we are seeing at national is we are mirroring with the counties. The way the relationship that the president and the deputy president works, we want to see governors working with their deputy governors together. We don't want to see governors where they want to undermine their deputies, Madam Speaker. With those very many remarks, I beg to second this bill and I call upon my colleagues to also contribute and we process for the benefit of the deputy governors of the Republic of Kenya. I yield back the mic, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senator Cherargei, it is not you who calls upon the others to contribute. You may sit down. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the County Government's Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 52 of 2024 be now read a second time. Senator Eddie Okech.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Madam Speaker, this is a very important bill that, first of all, must start from onset seconding, because the author of this bill also, as he said, our DS is also a seasoned political leader in this country. And Madam Speaker, I've been impressed by how many bills he has been able to do in terms of responding to some of the needs in the counties. Madam Speaker, you remember that from last year, the DS worked on the bill that could be able to bring about sanity between the county government and the county assemblies in terms of making sure that there's autonomy of the county assemblies in terms of running their own account and not depending on the CRF entirely in terms of dealing with their budgetary needs, so that there can be some sanity in terms of oversight by the MCAs. And I think this is also one of those areas that the DS has really spotted in terms of giving the deputy governors a very good direction in terms of getting proper assignments. Madam Speaker, our governors have become rogue. And I don't think that where one or two are doing well, we can congratulate them. I think that we have got a menace in the country where the governors are completely sidelining their deputies, one, in the form of financial allocations on things they can be able to do. Madam Speaker, the way the dignity of this office were crafted by the Constitution was to the effect that if you strip off anybody their responsibility in the Constitution, then you strip off the dignity of the people in that particular office. The intention of the Constitution was that when you have got a deputy governor, they must be accorded the same executive status that the governor enjoys. Because these offices, Madam Speaker, are about dignifying the people themselves. And Madam Speaker, we know our counties are created, where for somebody even to be a deputy of a governor, it is a game of numbers, in the sense that one person will bring perhaps their region or their clan or their ethnic groups and then bring them in the mortgage of politics where they agree in the respect of that particular community or region. If you end up mistreating that particular deputy governor, you are actually mistreating the people who gave you their trust by voting for you, Madam Speaker. A case in example is Migori County, Madam Speaker. In Migori County, the chemistry has always been that when you take somebody from the Luo side, of course you have got a very serious cosmopoly in Migori County, without any disregard to any community in Migori County, because Migori County is one of the counties in Nyanza that is extremely cosmopolitan. We have got the Somalis in that community, Madam Speaker, and we have always elected, honorable members from that community. We have got the Luya community in that county in Migori, and we have always elected also the members of that community. We have got the Kurian community. We have got the Kisii, the Abagusi community that are very industrious in that community, Madam Speaker. And it happens that sometimes, and since the inception of the counties as a devolved system, Madam Speaker, it has always happened that the Luo side always takes the Kurian side as a deputy governor to be able to run together. And Madam Speaker, you can imagine if you start mistreating that particular deputy governor from Kuria, you are not mistreating the deputy governor. You are mistreating the people of Kuria. You are disrespecting the people of Kuria who voted for you. You are removing the dignity of those people, Madam Speaker. And therefore, Madam Speaker, it's extremely important that we should not even just stop at assigning these duties. Because when I read this bill, Madam Speaker, I liked the concept and the intention of this bill. But my worry is it merely solves the problem. Because when you look at Section 32 that is being amended here, Madam Speaker, in my humble view, and DS, perhaps we can work on this together to make these functions more explicit. Because in my humble view, Madam Speaker, only point F, I can call it Section 32, subsection F, and subsection I, that give a practical role to the deputy governor. If you read subsection 32F, it says, where appointed as county government executive member under section B, make recommendation to the governor on matters relating to the specific appointed position in the county executive. This one is more explicit in terms of a role that can actually be executed. And then I says, assist the governor in the implementation of the county budget, including monitoring expenditure, ensuring fiscal responsibility, and promoting financial accountability as directed by the governor and in line with relevant national and county regulations. You see, Madam Speaker, I can see how this one can be implemented and be made an exclusive role to the deputy governor. But Madam Speaker, if you look at the other proposed roles here, I feel like they are still ambiguous. They are still ambiguous in the sense that, and I hope that the author we can work on this, they are still ambiguous in the sense that they still leave the fate of responsibility and functions of the deputy governor to the goodwill of the governor. Madam Speaker, if the move of this motion will agree, we need to make these ones more explicit so that there is more dignity in terms of when the deputy governor takes a role to perform, it is not a role that is at the discretion of the governor. Because that's the lacuna. That is the lacuna. And Madam Speaker, we send so much monies to the counties, in fact, in almost 4 categories that we send monies to the counties, and the budgetary making process and the allocation of resources process, Madam Speaker, is almost explicitly given to the governor. He has got all the discretion to influence the budget making process to the extent that even the MCAs are removed from this, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we send money to counties, 1, through the equitable share. 2, we send money through the additional revenue allocation, the CARA bills that we pass in this house, Madam Speaker. If you look at that CARA bills alone, Madam Speaker, you can find a lot of explicit ways to give the deputy governor power. For instance, you look at CARA, Madam Speaker, you'll find that some of the innovative things that we send additional revenue to the counties, you'll find things like FLOCA. Why is it that something like FLOCA, which is an independent project given to the county governments in the pretext of donations that we get from outside the country in terms of grants given to the government to address a particular problem, like FLOCA, Madam Speaker, addresses a particular climate change intervention problem that is supposed to come from the grassroots. Why can't we say that if we send additional revenue allocation to counties, the function for which we have sent that money must be checked on and performed by the deputy governor? That way, Madam Speaker, you'll be giving the deputy governor a particular portfolio to be able to, first of all, manage, but most importantly, execute the vision for implementation. Madam Speaker, another way that we send monies to the counties is through the World Bank resources that target, urban areas and cities. For instance, Madam Speaker, today, I saw in the order paper, although it was pushed down, that we wanted to discuss something around the Thika, being conferred a city status, the Thika town being conferred a city status, Madam Speaker. If you look at the Urban Areas and Cities Act, and then you go specifically towards dealing with municipalities, dealing with the urban populations in the counties, Madam Speaker, dealing with markets in some of these municipalities, Madam Speaker. For instance, in Migori County, we have got 4 municipalities. We have got the Rongo municipality, we have got Awendo municipality, we have got Migori municipality, and we have got Kianja municipalities. And these municipalities, Madam Speaker, the money that we send in the additional revenue criteria from the World Bank that is dealing with ensuring urban population in these municipalities, Madam Speaker, although we have got the boards of these municipalities, and we have got the chairman of the board that runs these municipalities, Madam Speaker, the essence of service delivery in those municipalities, Madam Speaker, if you are explicit enough to give those functions, whether it's supervision or otherwise implementation, to the deputy governor, then you are giving the deputy governor an explicit role that then will also empower the deputy governors in terms of thinking about financial and budgeting tools that sidelines those deputy governors, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, we also have another opportunity that I think that perhaps the author of this bill, our able deputy speaker, and the esteemed senator for Meru, who has been doing a lot of legislation in this house, Madam Speaker, another way that money goes to the CRF, apart from these 3 that I've mentioned, is through on-source revenue. And if there is no place that is so blurred to even the Senate as the on-source revenue. Madam Speaker, our governors are collecting millions and millions of money through on-source revenue that, if you look critically, is not even automated. You will find, for instance, in my county, Madam Speaker, that my governor collects what is declared is about 686 million in terms of on-source revenue, that, Madam Speaker. But if you look at the potential of the county, and even if you look at the data that comes from what you will see border people, you will find that the governor, through his revenue officers, put borders to give him money through some rope of some sort in the middle of nowhere. Some revenue officers will be somewhere with some rope. A border person passes, they take money from that border person. Another border passes, they take money from that border person, Madam Speaker. How do you become sure that those revenue officers are taking those entire monies to the CRF? How are you sure that what is declared, Madam Speaker, from a rope that has been put somewhere in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of some bushes somewhere, how would you be sure that that money, Madam Speaker, goes to CRF? These are some of the places that if you were to put an executive, as a serious executive, as a deputy CEO of the county, to be able to both check the implementation of the on-source revenue, as well as be able to monitor, evaluate, and even ensure that there's accountability framework put on the on-source revenue infrastructure, Madam Speaker, and you give it to the deputy governor, I think then the deputy governor would have a very explicit role in contributing to the well-being of the economy, Madam Speaker. Yesterday, Madam Speaker, Senator Wambua came with a statement here on the problem of degradation of the rivers by harvesting of sand in Kitui. In fact, I wish we got the chance of commenting to that statement yesterday, Madam Speaker. But even when you go to Kitui and you look at the way sand is harvested, the revenue that comes from the sand, Madam Speaker, goes through an on-source revenue infrastructure, which if it is not well placed and well put, like for instance what Senator Governor Kangata has done in Muranga, where you find that he has tried as much as possible to automate a number of revenue infrastructure in that county, Madam Speaker. If you look at Kitui, which is not dissimilar to Migori, where in Migori we also have a sand, but the sand harvesting happens mostly from River Migori, as well as from the lake in a place called Modi in Nyatike. The sand harvesting and the money that is being gotten and received by the governor through his revenue officers, Madam Speaker, is completely not automated. And there's not even ways of thinking about how do you go and regenerate those riverbanks as well as the lake shores where this sand is taken from, Madam Speaker. There's no mechanism whatsoever of making sure that after those sand harvesting are done, then there is a way of going back to rehabilitate those lands, and there's a way of going back and plowing back those resources to the community to be able to help those communities. If you were to give the deputy governor a very specific role like as such, then, Madam Speaker, I could see how then they become more meaningful. But if we just go with these omnibus statements, Madam Speaker, for instance, if you look at section 32(1)(a), it says that one of the roles that this bill is giving them is to deputize the governor in the execution of governor's functions, including the general administration of the county government and overseeing the implementation of the county executive committee decisions. Madam Speaker, that still leaves the masses of governor as the one that will determine what that county deputy governor will do. Madam Speaker, the next one says here that undertake the functions of a specified appointed position in the county executives committee as may be assigned by the governor. Again, we are going back to leave the fate of the deputy governor in the hand of the governor. You see another one here, Madam Speaker, represent the governor and the county government in various official capacities at the national and the county levels of government. Madam Speaker, how will you implement this? With the ego we have seen the governors having in this country, Madam Speaker, where all functions are about them. In Migori County, Madam Speaker, my own governor even carries his own chair to those functions and has a red carpet to those functions. And we have seen a number of governors doing this, you know. So I wonder which governor will allow their county governors, if there's no mutual understanding and mutual respect, which is what we're trying to solve here, Madam Speaker. I don't see any governor allowing their deputies to be the face of that county in national functions and to be the face of that county in county functions, Madam Speaker. And therefore, Madam Speaker, what I'm trying to say here without belaboring, because I really support this bill, is that for us to solve that lacuna of ambiguity of roles, let us use this bill to bring about amendments, and I hope that the author will listen to us and perhaps also allow us to draft some amendments, Madam Speaker, to make these functions of the deputy governor as explicit as we can. Because the functions of the governor are already so explicit, and I think that the opportunistic way to do that is look at the sources of revenue that are going to the county and align those sources of revenue with functions that they go with, and then look at what functions can the deputy governor do that is best. Because if you do that, then you'll give the county government some sanity, where even in a situation whereby there's financial sidelining and starvation that my friend Senator Chage was complaining here about, that in some county governments like Siaya, the deputy governor is completely sidelined financially, and not just sidelined, also starved. You find that sometimes even just approval of vote aids for that deputy governor are simple things as a vote aid on vehicles, a vote aid on some staff, a vote aid on some travel and subsistence, whether domestic or international, Madam Speaker, is completely sidelined. The best way to cure it is to make sure that the sources of resources that are going to county, the respective functions that are going to going with those resources, are looked at more holistically and objectively, and then assigned particular roles that goes with those resources. And I've cited a number of them, from the World Bank side, from the additional revenue allocation. Maybe the hardest one to malign, Madam Speaker, might be difficult, is the equitable share. Because the equitable share sometimes, Madam Speaker, goes even to affect some of the overheads that do constitute the recurrent budgets of the county. And in some counties, Madam Speaker, we have also seen some serious projects that will constitute what we'll call flagship projects. For instance, in Migori County, Madam Speaker, we have seen 5 flagship projects that are going on that are affected in some way by the national revenue. You know, we have got the stadium that is going on there. We have got markets that are going on. We have got KIPES. We have got the, you know, the airport that is being made in Migori County, Madam Speaker, as well as generally the headquarter, the county headquarter. Those ones might be difficult to take away from the governor. But the ones that do affect some other sources of revenue that we might not be able to trace, like the on-source revenue, Madam Speaker, I strongly feel that if we align those functions with the deputy governor, then perhaps they will have some more meaning that always brings dignity not only to them, but also dignity to the people who actually fronted them or supported them to support the governor to take that seat. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I don't want to speak too much because there are colleagues who also want to contribute to this bill, but I do support this bill, but with some serious amendments to make these functions as explicit as possible. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Methu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. With your kind indulgence, if you allow, please allow me to also congratulate my brother, my age mate, Senator Eddie, on his appointment and new role as the Deputy Minority Whip. You know, Madam Speaker, for the 4 years that we've been here, we have seen the clock go all around. I was here when Senator Sifuna was hounding the Senator for Isiolo out of office, and we were all here. We were really happy about it. Senator Dango and I were removed from office by Senator Boni Halole. He's the one that moved the motion here. Now he's with us in the trenches. We have seen everything here, and we shall see everything. So I congratulate Senator Eddie, and I tell you that enjoy when it lasts. Now you are Deputy Minority Whip, you are Chairman Committee on Roads, you are Vice Chair Committee on CPIC. Enjoy when it lasts. You have been there. And maybe you shall join us in the trenches someday. Madam Speaker, I thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to weigh in my thoughts on this particular bill. I have spoken about this many times, but I feel like the way this bill has been ordered, and that is why I would want to have a very serious conversation with Senator Eddie Okech, because from his contribution, I think he has more problems with the bill than he supports the bill. In fact, he proposed more amendments than he supported what is contained in this bill. I feel like, Madam Speaker, the move of this motion, the Honorable Senator for Meru, is trying to cure a headache by cutting off the neck. He's actually trying to cure a diarrhea by stitching the exit. I don't feel, Madam Speaker, like, you know, Madam Speaker, there are two things we can't legislate. I don't know what is amusing to the Senator for Narok. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, you know there are two things we can't legislate. We can't legislate relationships, and we can't also legislate love. You know, those are issues that we can't legislate. Madam Speaker, the ultimate resolution of this particular challenge, because I think we have stated the problem. All of us have stated the problem that many deputy governors are suffering. I have said it many times. All of us have said it many times. But I don't think this piece of legislation is meant to actually cure that particular problem. In fact, I think we are digging a deeper hole than we are intending to cure. I think we are making it even worse. And I'll give you the illustration why. Let me say this. It is in the thinking of the move of this motion that once we allocate a specific responsibility and role on the deputy governor, then we can at least give the deputy governor some leverage in terms of the administration of a county. But let me tell you this, Madam Speaker. It is common knowledge that it is contained in the Constitution of Kenya that the chairman of the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council, IBEC, is the deputy president. In the days preceding to Mr. William Ruto's administration, Mr. William Ruto was the deputy president. When he fell out with his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta, IBEC was being called and nobody was attending, despite the fact that it is contained in the Constitution, not in a statute, in the Constitution of Kenya, that the chairman of IBEC is the deputy president. When he fell out with President Uhuru Kenyatta, nobody was attending IBEC. He was calling IBEC and only governors from his own formation. In fact, let me say it, only governors from Rift Valley and a pocket of some governors from Central Kenya who supported him then were attending IBEC, despite the fact that it is contained in the Constitution. So therefore, even if we give the deputy governor a specific role to play in terms of the administration of the county government, I don't think we have cured the problem. Madam Speaker, I've seen that one of the proposals is that the deputy governor will be a member of the county executive committee, and in fact, ridiculously, there is something that has been contained here, that the deputy governor will be given notice of when the county executive committee is sitting. Do you actually know that in the Constitution of Kenya, Article 179(2), the deputy governor is an automatic member of the county executive committee. The county executive committee has county executive committee members appointed by the governor, and number two, the deputy governor and the governor himself. So there is nothing as it is now, even without this piece of legislation, there is nothing that stops the governor from inviting the deputy governor in county executive committee meetings. But they are complaining that they have never been invited. So therefore, when you say that you are compelling, you are saying that they should be invited, what stops them from being invited now? That is question number one. Question number two. If the deputy governor have fallen out with the governor, and we are saying the person who appoints this deputy governor to a substantive role in the county executive is the governor. So once they fall out, let me ask you, Madam Speaker, who is the accounting officer in the departments of county governments? They are the chief officers. Who appoints chief officers? The governor. So what are we saying when we say that the deputy governor will be appointed into a substantive office, and the accounting officer of that particular substantive office is a chief officer who has been appointed by the governor? Madam Speaker, do you actually know that in the years preceding 2022, it was actually an abomination for a permanent secretary, they are called principal secretary, for a principal secretary to even go and see the deputy president then, Mr. William Ruto, despite the fact that he was the second in command in the republic. I have told you, Madam Speaker, there is no way of legislating relationships. There is no way of legislating love. In fact, I think the most drastic way of sorting out this problem, it is my very, very considered opinion that for us to cure this problem, let us abolish and scrap the position of the deputy governor. That is the only way, in my opinion, we can cure this problem. In fact, why do we force people to have governors that they have not voted for? Because you see, we always say that if a governor dies, or if there is a vacancy in the office of a governor, if a governor dies, if he is jailed for more than 6 months, if they become bankrupt, if they become insane, then automatically the deputy governor takes over. What makes people believe that this deputy governor was being viewed by the voters in the same view as a governor of a county? In fact, the way Senator Eddie has said, and you know, Madam Speaker, I'm a Secretary General of a party, and you know how many egos are taken care of when we are trying to put people together. So I run against somebody, I defeat that person, and I take that person to be my running mate. That person has already been rejected by the voters, but because we need some convenience in terms of the clan, in terms of the region, then I'll pick this person to be my deputy. Even though he has been rejected by the voters, I've taken him as my deputy. Once I die, the person who was rejected comes up to become the governor through the back door, Madam Speaker. So I feel, and I strongly believe, and that is why I oppose this particular piece of legislation, that the only way to cure this particular problem is to abolish this position. Because once people fall out, it does not matter whether you have given them any role in the constitution or not. Once they fall out, I have given you examples, even at the highest offices in the land. I'm happy that Senator Eddy has actually said that when a deputy governor is mistreating a governor, they are actually mistreating the people of the region where that person came from. I wonder where that wisdom was when they were impeaching Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and William Ruto wants to say that it is not the people of that region that he impeached. You know, it is the same thinking for the deputy governor and for the deputy president. Madam Speaker, I have seen that the deputy governor wants to be given a role. I think it is 32. Madam Speaker, if you read the 32G, is what I was speaking about. He will attend county executive committee meetings as a member of the county executive committee, pursuant to Article 179 of the Constitution, and be entitled to reasonable notice of county executive committee meetings. I am asking this question. As it is now without this legislation, what stops a deputy governor from attending or getting notices of these meetings? He is a member of the executive committee anyway. With or without this legislation, the deputy governor is a member of the county executive anyway. So this number G is not supposed to be here. Now, if you read number H, Madam Speaker, from time to time, the deputy governor would appear to the county assembly to respond to questions regarding the implementation of the county development projects by the county executive committee. You know the reason why the governor is invited? The CEO of a county is a governor. And every time, even when people appear before either the committees of parliament, in Senate, and even in the county assembly, the accounting officers are the ones who are dealing with the finances of the county, Madam Speaker. So tell me, what role would a deputy governor be doing in the audit of a county? They have absolutely no role. They are not accounting officers. They are not. They have no role in terms of implementation. They have exactly nothing to do in terms of appearing for audit questions. Assuming, and I know there are some members of this house who have sat in the Public Accounts Committee. Assuming we have invited a county to come and appear before Parliament, and a deputy governor appears, do you think any committee of Parliament would want to listen to a deputy governor? Why would we listen to him? He has no, he has no executive authority of the county. Why is he appearing? What is he appearing here to do? Number I, assist the governor in the implementation of the county budget. Madam Speaker, since we are trying to bring this legislation to manage the relationship between the governor and the deputy governor, tell me, if you have already fallen out, how will that person assist me in the implementation of the budget? In fact, tell me, how is he meant to implement it, to assist in the implementation? Because you see, the county is divided in departments. There is a for example, there is a budget of the department for water. There is a budget for the department for sports. There is a budget for the department of roads. That department has a director. That department has a chief officer. That department has a CCM. Tell me, where does the deputy governor come in terms of implementation? Whether you like him or you don't like him, whether you hate him or you don't hate him, whether you are together or you have fallen out, how does the deputy governor come in? In fact, Madam Speaker, this bill, in my opinion, is very shallow. I do not see, well, let me not say that. If you read number I, it says, including monitoring expenditure, ensuring fiscal responsibility, and promoting financial accountability as directed by the governor. So, if you are fallen out with our governor, at what point will you be directed by the governor? How would a deputy governor, Madam Speaker, promote financial accountability? When I say this bill is shallow, this is what I am speaking about. How does a deputy governor monitor expenditure? He's not an accounting officer, has no executive authority. How would that person monitor expenditure? How would a deputy governor monitor expenditure, Madam Speaker? Surely, even if, because we have been lobbied here by Senator Kaduri to come and support this bill, we can't just support aimlessly and just support because, he has told us to support, and there is nothing to it. He just wants to make deputy governors feel like there's something that we have done as a house, and we are creating more problems than we are trying to cure, Madam Speaker. Serve as an executive liaison office within the county assembly for the purposes with the county assembly for the purposes of facilitating and fostering positive relations between the county assembly and the county executive committee, and enhancing smooth implementation of the county government's project and agenda and policies. Madam Speaker, as it is today, this role, I think, is the role of the county secretary. This role that has been given as role number J. So, will the deputy governor now double up as a county secretary? Will the deputy governor now be appointed as a county secretary? Or will the county secretary undertake the same responsibility as the deputy governor? Madam Speaker, there is one thing that we can't do. We can't come here in this house just for the purposes of making deputy governors feel happy and come and support a bill that is not supposed and is not meant to cure anything. There is no way you can give a responsibility that is already being held by somebody, and you are not saying what will happen to this other person. You are actually now creating two centers of power. When you make him the liaison between the county assembly and the county executive, and you have the county secretary, so what becomes of the county secretary? This, Madam Speaker, is creating a crisis on top of a crisis, and is making, I do not even know, Madam Speaker. Number E is to engage with the public and various stakeholders on issues affecting respective county and put in place measures to address concerns, promote transparency, accountability, and in the governance process. Madam Speaker, if I was to read word by word, slowly, engage with the public, today, without this legislation, what stops the deputy governors from engaging the public? Why do we need this legislation for the deputy governor to engage with the public? I mean, I think that is exactly what they do every day. Even when they are fallen out, they still engage with the public, whether they are together or they are not together. You know, let me tell you, Madam Speaker, the ultimate cure, and I will say it for the upteenth time, the ultimate cure, if you want to get any executive authority in terms of appointment, in terms of implementation, in terms of accountability, monitoring of expenditure, if that is what exactly we are looking for, run for the position of governor. A deputy governor, in my opinion, today as it is in the Constitution, is a spare wheel. A spare wheel is never useful so long as the four wheels of the car are intact. As it is today, Madam Speaker, up to until there's a vacancy in the office of the governor, you serve at the pleasure of the governor. That is what it is. And this bill is not making it any better, in my opinion, Madam Speaker. In fact, if you read from A all the way to J, you will not see anything new here. The only new thing in this bill is to say that a deputy governor will be appointed to a substantive position. First, you have not even been told what is this substantive role that you are being given. You know, somebody can say you will be in charge of disaster management or whatever it is. You know, it's not specified. You are not being told. It is even better in the national government because the deputy governor is in charge, the deputy president, is in charge of IBEC. Now, in this case of the deputy governor, this role that you are saying that they should be appointed into a substantive role, we are not even saying what kind of a role is it. You can even be told that you'll be in charge of carrying the seat of the governor around. That is a substantive role. You can be told that you'll be in charge of county askaris or I don't know what. You know, this is a very ambiguous bill, Madam Speaker. And it's not a well thought of bill. This is not a bill that you can say somebody put a lot of effort in preparing this bill. It's just something that was crafted to just make governors feel happy. We are just massaging egos of the governors, deputy governors, for nothing, and making them feel like we are doing anything. We are passing a legislation to make them feel better. We are passing a legislation to make them feel like the Senate has actually addressed their issues. In this bill, nothing has been addressed. Nothing. Because even in terms of implementation of this particular bill, how do you implement this bill, Madam Speaker? Tell me, how do you tell deputy governors that they will be in charge of expenditure in their county, yet they are not accounting officers? How? I wish you even said they will not even be appointed as CCM, they will be appointed as chief officers, because at least a chief officer is an accounting officer. But you are saying that, Madam Speaker, with those very many remarks, I wish to say that I vehemently oppose this piece of legislation. I don't think we need to amend this. We need to just do away with it and do a fresh bill and make it better.
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me begin by appreciating the good senator from Meru for taking some time to try and resolve a dispute. The intention of the bill is very good, but the drafting of this bill risks creating another center of power. It will worsen the current situation of the conflict between the governors and the deputy governors. Madam Speaker, I feel the struggles, the challenges that the deputy governors go through. But honestly, we have to be very careful not to create a huge problem in the county in devolution that we may no longer be able to resolve. In this House, Madam Speaker, your chair ruled that only cabinet secretaries appear before committees of this House to be able to respond to matters that affect their respective departments, not a principal secretary. When we now come up with a legislation, and we are not specific in terms of the roles of that deputy governor by saying that when the governor is not able to appear in the summit, then you send the deputy governor. Without being specific, it will create serious problems, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the way this bill can make sense is if it is very clear, and I thought that the framers of the Constitution were very clear when they are creating the position of the deputy governor, which was clearly to deputize the governor, to carry out the functions that the governor assigns the deputy governor to carry out those functions. Madam Speaker, the problem is money. Our governors are living a lavish life. And of course, the deputy governors envy because they have both traversed their counties seeking for votes. They have gone as a team. And in most cases, Madam Speaker, and I'll try to demystify this further down, in our cultures, particularly the pastoralist, a governor is given more support if he selects a deputy from a very strong clan. So especially like in the Maasai community, we have two parallel clans. We have one called Odomongi, which is the red cow, and the other one is Orokiteng, which is the black cow. So when you look at the politics of Kajiado and Narok, in most cases, if a governor or a candidate is seeking to appoint a deputy governor, if he's coming from Orokiteng, he will actually appoint one from Odomongi, because then he will get the support of the rest. But where problems arise is when the two of you were living in an apartment in Kilimani.
Senators, please. Please.
Then all of a
some
sudden, you as the deputy governor continues to live in that apartment in Kilimani, but the governor who has come in now has a manicured mansion in Karen. That is where the problem is. The problem is not that the framers of the Constitution, particularly Article 179, which seems to be misunderstood here. And this is why sometimes I wonder whether we politicians become very adamant and we refuse to take advice from the Secretariat. Because I'm just trying to understand how the drafters of this legislation would actually repeat what is already in the law. Article 179(2), whereby the county governor and the deputy governor are members of the executive committee. So why would you then again come up with that provision in this law? So I don't know whether we put a lot of pressure with the drafters and we say, you must add this, or whether we are just trying to seek some relevance, or maybe it's an issue where it was an oversight. So, Madam Speaker, I want to reiterate by saying that the intention that the Deputy Speaker, the sponsor of the bill, had is noble, is very good. I feel the pressure that deputy governors have, which is mostly monetary. Some of them, Madam Speaker, we are told they are not even given fuel by their governors. If it is an issue of being very clear that because the deputy governor deputized the governor, let us be very clear in terms of their budget so that they do not have to depend on the governor to be given money to fuel their vehicles. Madam Speaker, we've had problems with the Assembly where we are talking about amending the PFM Act so that we can give the assemblies financial autonomy. Should we then be looking at the PFM Act and saying that, oh, this County Governments Act, and maybe clarifying and saying the county deputy governor, since he's a deputy of the governor, should have a clear budget, a percentage, to be able to carry out functions. That is where this problem is coming. Number two, Madam Speaker, I would also feel discouraged. If I've traversed the county, I've come in as your deputy, and you barely even consider me. You don't give me tasks to do. So I'm just sitting in my office, I'm driving a fancy car, sometimes it runs out of fuel. If we fight, I must stoop too low so that you can be able to send some money for me for fuel. So I would cry and I would say I need to be, I need my role to be clearly defined. So, Madam Speaker, I don't subscribe to the school of thought that feels that we should kill the bill. I think we should work with the draft of the bill to be able to make it much more constitutional, because at the current drafting of this bill, it will create two centers of powers. The county governor and the deputy governor will both have their own fights. In fact, those fights will never stop. Those fights will continue. So if we want to be able to make devolution work, the first thing that we should incorporate in this bill, which I hope that the Deputy Speaker will be able to think about it, is a dispute resolution mechanism. When they fight between the governor and the deputy governor, there is a clause that should be added on how their dispute should be resolved. We should also be able to clarify and say, because of the constitutional duty of the deputy governor, that the assembly should define the deputy governor's budget. I support the role that every deputy governor may be assigned a docket in the county assembly to be a CC of a particular docket. That will keep them busy, and that will also help them be able to contribute. And when they come together in the executive committee, they too can be able to contribute. The biggest challenge that I see, Madam Speaker, is that when it comes to even the executive committee, when they have those meetings, deputy governors never say anything. I want to remind those deputy governors who are out there to just take Article 179 of the Constitution and see that they are part and parcel of that executive committee. And in fact, Article 179 says the executive authority of the county is vested and exercised, is vested in and exercised by executive committee, which it is the governor, the deputy governor, and the 10 CCs. So, Madam Speaker,
Senator Olekina.
Oh, Mr. Speaker,
Thank
I'm
you.
glad to see you.
I wanted you to take note of the change of the chair.
Thank you. You know, this you change so often, sometimes we don't even get to see. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it is imperative that anyone who is given a responsibility, you carry that responsibility diligently. You know, there are counties that the governor and the deputy governor work very well. My 2 cents on this is that before you go into a campaign, the two of you should have a clear, legal binding memorandum, so that you can run the county effectively and not create 2 centers of powers. Earlier, I think a couple of years ago, if it was not last year, we were asked to impeach the deputy governor of Siaya. But this House did not feel that there were merits of impeaching that deputy governor. And in fact, what was happening is there was an issue of personality differences, conflicts between the governor, James Orengo, and his deputy. So should we allow ego or egoism to be able to dictate on how governance should be exercised? My answer to that is that no, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to encourage my brother, the Deputy Speaker, to take some time and personally reread every clause, because most of the clauses here that they are proposing to be amended or to be included, particularly 32, they are all a repetition, and it's a creation of nothing but confusion, as well as another center of power. Devolution should not be about power struggle. It should be about getting services to the people. Finally, Mr. Speaker, let me repeat what I just said, because it is very, very important. The intention of this bill is noble, but the drafting is where the problem arises. Let us define clearly the role of the deputy governor, and if we are not able to define it, we just do away with it. We scrap it. Once you scrap it, then we will not have these problems. If there is a change of governance, particularly if, let's say, for instance, a governor dies, then an election is held and a new governor is elected. Because in most cases, in all the 47 counties, there is no very good relationship between the governor and the deputy governor. And in fact, the running of the county is not determined by the two. It is determined by one person. So why are we wasting time and wasting public resources? Do away with the deputy governor position, leave the governor on its own, or define the budget and clearly say you will deputize the governor on A, B, C, but not try to say you are now giving him more powers that he can appear before the summit, represent the governor, and you are not specific. Madam Speaker, if you read the Attorney General's Act, and Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you this. In the last administration, there was a huge conflict because there is a clause in the Attorney General's Act that says the Attorney General may designate certain powers to the Solicitor General. And when the Attorney General designated those powers to the Solicitor General, trust me, the person who was now in charge of government business was no longer the Attorney General, but the Solicitor General. That was a fact. So you want to create another problem here? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Olekina. Senator Mariam. Senator Thangwa, the chair who preceded myself had indicated the justifications why Senator Mariam would be given the opportunity ahead of you. I take note of the fact that from the system, it's Senator Manzo who ought to have been given the opportunity to speak, but allow the chair to interchange and permit members to contribute. Senator Mariam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I have to congratulate the Deputy Speaker for coming up with this bill to solve some issues. Mr. Speaker, everything has been highlighted, but I wanted to highlight one thing instead of repeating myself. Mr. Speaker, in primary act, the role of the deputy governor, they were given only 5 roles. In this one, I can see almost 10 roles which has been given. Mr. Speaker, one of them, of which I have some issues about it, is on G, which is attending the county executive meeting as a member of the county executive committees. Yes, it has been highlighted in Article 179 too as the members of the CCM, but in that article and in the primary bill also, it is silent on the attendance of deputy governor to attend these CCM meetings. And that shows that it is rather open for him either to attend or not. But this one is restricting him to attend. If he's on absent, there must be a notice. There must be also a notice to be given to the deputy governor, because currently the CCM, when they are making a meetings, the current governors, deputy governors, they are not aware. So there must be also a notice to be given. On H, from time to time appear before the county assembly to respond to the question related regarding the implementation of the county development projects by the county executive committee. Mr. Speaker, I totally disagree with this one because the county, when I take, let me take you to, on that one, Mr. Speaker, the chair of the CCM is the governor. If he is governor, now if you are given a priority to the county assembly, he appear to the county assembly anytime, from time to time. That is contrary to the appointment where they are appointed as the county executive members, because who appoints him as a county executive member is the governor. So the overall chair is the CEO of the county government. The CEO of county government is responsible to answer all questions to the county assembly, not to him. Maybe he can appear to the county assembly on responding to the docket he has been given under the county executive committee members. Because when we visited some counties, we realized that CCM of health, most of them is deputy governor. Now, when the issue of county issue of the health issues to be raised, he can appear as a CCM, not as a county deputy governor. So they have to specify at what time he can appear on the county assembly to respond to a question to who. On the other one is on the issue of assisting governors in implementation of the county budgets. In this one, it is a blanket clause. It has to be specific to assisting governors in implementation of the county budget on which role he has been given as CCM. Because if he or she has not been given a CCM, he cannot take that opportunity of implementation of the budget and monitoring of expenditure. So this one must be specifically to the role he or she has been given in the county CCM docket. As per the G, serve as executive liaison office with the county assembly for proposing for the purpose of facilitating and fostering the positive relationship between the county. Mr. Speaker, this one is overruled because he is not the CEO of the county executive. So the person who is county executive is a governor who contrary to the respond to the county assembly and also make relationship with county assembly. But if you give to the county deputy governor, it is more of colliding of the county governor and the deputy governor. And what is happening, even because they are fighting on that, this role will come up and it brings the conflict of interest between the two. Mr. Speaker, with those, because others has been highlighted, I don't want to repeat myself, but it needs amendment on these issues I have highlighted. Mr. Speaker, I support the bill with the amendment. Thank you.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, I want to go back to the Constitution and, you know, the county executive, how the county executive is formed. This is under Article 179(4). The county governor and the deputy county governor are chief executive and deputy chief executive of the county, respectively. Subsection 5, when the county governor is absent, the deputy governor shall act as the county governor. And then, you know, also under Article 180, subsection 5, each candidate for election as a county governor shall nominate a person who is qualified for nomination for election as county governor as a candidate for deputy governor. Those are the provisions in the Constitution. And from the proposal which has been proposed by Senator Gathuri, Senator for Meru, who I have a lot of respect for, is seeking to delete the order section 32, which has 5 subsections, and bring in a new section 32, which has got, you know, quite a number of, up to J, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which has added 7 more functions. Mr. Speaker, if this bill had come to the Committee of Justice, I believe it would be looking different. Unfortunately, it went to devolution. Ordinarily, I think this sort of law should have come to the Committee of JLAC. Mr. Speaker, you will be aware that the idea is very good and very noble, and I think it should not be lost. We are aware as the Senate that quite a number of governors and deputy governors have had issues. But how to regulate those issues and how to deal with them, first of all, you need to look at the relationship. In the event the governor is no longer governor, the deputy governor is automatically sworn to office. Both of them have same qualifications in terms of qualification to be elected as governor. And therefore, I am looking at a situation whereby what is the idea? What was in the original idea of the original section 32? We have seen, like in the case of Machakos, when Mutua was governor, he immediately fought with his deputy and even brought him here for impeachment. The Senate refused to impeach, kept him without an office, without a vehicle, without employees, for as long as they were serving together, and finally exited. His next deputy governor was appointed the CEC in charge of finance. And then, you know, there are many other examples in the country where we have seen deputy governors be brought here for impeachment, then it works or it doesn't work, and the two have to go and coexist. And what tends to happen when the governor differs with the deputy, then it seems to be a problem. And in a lot of cases, like in the case of Honorable Savula and his governor, you know, both of them are shareholders of their government. I would say equal shareholders. Each person contributed to the existence of the other. You know, Honorable Savula, having been a member of parliament and having been a journalist, and is very vast with many things. I believe the two of them gel very well and help each other very well and are able to share power. But it was the idea for governor and deputy to share power equally. I don't think so, although such arrangements can be done. And even that has been the situation in the national government in Kenya. Since devolution came, and since we have a presidential system, each election, the election of President Uhuru and William Ruto were like 50-50 shareholders of their government. Similarly, at the first round, and even a second round, and even currently, the election of William Ruto as president and the second deputy governor of the republic, it was a 50-50 arrangement. If anything, Rigathi Gachagua had brought, more numbers than the other. And similarly with the county governments, there's nothing to call out of order. I know you don't like the second deputy president, but even when you, Cheragai, when you become, there's no point of order.
Senator Manso, let me allow Senator Cheragai to raise his point of order. Senator Medu and Senator Thangwa, the chair is one. And I have allowed Senator Cheragai to raise his point of order. Senator Cheragai, proceed. It is the chair to determine whether it is a point of order or otherwise not. Proceed, Senator Cheragai.
I proceed with the hair class. Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding order 105 on responsibility for a statement of fact. But Mr. Speaker, straight to the point, have you heard my brother, senior counsel Senator Manzo, not senior colleague, by alluding and stating that the arrangement between President William Ruto and the impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was 50-50. Can he table the evidence to show that there was a 50-50 arrangement, Mr. Speaker, sir? As per the standing order 105. I yield back the mic, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Manzo, you've heard the point of order. Are you able to table any document to that effect? If not, you can substantiate it otherwise.
Mr. Speaker, I can't table, but it's a matter of fact. I do withdraw that, but the way they shared government was a matter of fact. The point I was trying to drive in, Mr. Speaker, is that when there is a president and deputy, or when there is a governor and deputy,
Senator
sometimes they are political.
Senator Manzo, take your seat again. What's the point of order, Senator Kinyua?
Mr. Speaker, I'm raising on a point of order 105, statement of fact. Mr. Speaker, it is so obvious after it was, I want to agree with Senator Maanzo that it was 50-50. I was a member of UDA. And Mr. Speaker, I want to state that after they disagreed, after they disagreed, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, and the President, that is what caused what happened in all Kalau, Mr. Speaker. And you can see exactly
what is your point of order, Senator
disagreement,
Kinyua?
Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order?
I'm confirming what...
Take your seat, Senator Kinyua.
I'm confirming what Manzo is saying. It was 50-50, Mr. Speaker.
Take your seat, Senator Kinyua. Senator Manzo, proceed.
Yes. Thank you,
You're
Mr.
out
Speaker.
of order,
I'm
Senator
just saying,
Kinyua.
Mr. Speaker, ordinarily in the elections, and I'm sure some of us who will want to run for governor one day will find themselves in that reality. Your deputy, you may have to do a political agreement, and I think this is what drives to the problem after election, because ordinarily under the law, the governor is supposed to take full charge of the government, and the deputy is a principal assistant. And I think this is what our good Senator Kathuri was trying to, and the Deputy Speaker was trying to address. We know they have been concerned. I wish you could see the public participation report and how different deputy governors responded. I have heard this cries myself. I have helped settle situations where a governor and a deputy have differed and the county is suffering, the development is not going as used, the political situation has become hostile. And eventually, Mr. Speaker, we must find a solution to this. And having got to find a solution, I think what we should happen, what we should do, Mr. Speaker, at the third reading, we need to redraft this amendment bill to suit the situation. And that's why public participation is very important in any legislation, and especially the report and the adoption of the feedback from the people. This house has already now given feedback, and luckily we've got very experienced people in this house. Senator Sangwa and Senator Medhu have had an opportunity to serve in counties and understand this relationship very well. They have contributed very well, and Senator Medhu has contributed very well, and I think Sangwa will even do better after me. And I've also heard Senator Mariam, who has a lot of experience from the county where she comes from. So if you listen and follow keenly to people who are in this house and have worked in county government before, and they have done so in senior positions, they are able, or representatives. I wish Senator Murago was here, who was also an MCA in Kirinyaga County, and now wants to become governor there, and I'm sure he will be a very good governor. It means that we have to draw that experience, and then using that experience, and especially from Senator Medhu and Senator Thangwa, redraft this and come up with something which gives a solution to what we are trying to form a problem. Although Senator Medhu has put it very well, it's like trying to cure diarrhea. By blocking the exit, you increase the problems, and the person is likely to die. So we are likely, yeah, we are likely. I'm just quoting. Yes, I'm just quoting, but I'm just saying the problem is likely to become more. And therefore, we don't want to increase the problems between the governor and the county governor. We as a Senate who believe in devolution want to solve this problem, want to make sure that counties go on well. But I want to believe, if from my Makueni experience, now,
Senator Cherargei, allow Senator Manzo to conclude on his. Allow Senator
I'm just
Manzo
about to wind up, and I'm coming to the
Wind up
positive
to the
side of things. I want to say that in Kenya, there has been many counties, there have been many counties. No.
Senator Manzo, you are addressing the chair, you are not addressing Senator Cherargei.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm addressing the nation, and I've stated facts as a in case I
Senator
was
Manzo,
yes.
You are on the floor.
Yes.
You're not supposed to talk to your colleague, Senator. Proceed.
But the interruptions are
Unless
so
you are
much. I don't know whether Senator Cherargei wants to run this Senate alone. Then you should be talking alone if you cannot allow others to think.
Senator Manzo.
Chair, I want to conclude and say there are many examples of good working relationships in many counties in the country. One of it is Makueni. You know that the governor of Makueni and the deputy governor of Makueni. In Makueni practice, if the governor is a male, then the deputy is female. If in future, if a governor will be female, the deputy will be male to balance gender parity. And what has been happening is like the current situation, we have a deputy governor who is a former county commissioner and with long experience in government. And she's come out very hardy in terms of stabilizing the government and making sure technically the government is well run. In fact, when we have the national days, they are much better than the previous one. The previous one, the national days, you would find the governor and the county commissioner and a few people. But now it's a full-fledged, occasion in Makueni, and it's a good example of where governor and deputy governor can work together. I believe, even without this regulation, many governors and many deputy governors can work together. We cannot really regulate or enact laws to regulate a relationship. It has to be created. The people must be willing. There must be respect between the governor and the deputy, and there must be space and allow the deputy to deputize the governor. If that happens, I'm sure there will be no problems. There will be no need for this regulation. But unfortunately, in quite a number of counties, there have been problems. We have seen a governor bringing a deputy here for impeachment. Some have successfully been impeached, others not. And therefore, there is a need to make this law better, relook at it, a third reading, and make sure that it serves the country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Senator Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As I also contribute to this important bill, and this bill is seeking to give powers to the deputy governors, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I happen to be a member of the devolution committee. And in the devolution committee, we went through this bill. And we gave our observations. And of course, we also gave our recommendations, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, before probably I say whether I'm supporting or opposing this bill, I just wanted to it to sink in your mind. Can you imagine having a deputy governor like Senator Cherargei? So now with that in your mind, Mr. Speaker, you realize you do not need this kind of law, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, the law is very clear.
Senator Thangwa, I do not want to allow Senator Cherargei to interrupt you. I do not find anything offensive with referring Senator Cherargei in any other manner unspecific as you have done.
Yeah.
But watch the speech that you proceeded.
Thank you.
Content, especially in reference to your colleague Senator or any other person who is not in this House.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm well guided. I'm well guided. Now, Mr. Speaker, I want to give you a bit of the genesis of this bill, because I do understand, because it came to the Committee of Devolution many months ago. This bill was supposed to cure what was happening in Meru County then, Mr. Speaker. If you remember very well, there were issues of governor and the deputy. The deputy governor, the governor was impeached about 4 times and returned to the office. And they thought they would bring a bill that would create a co-governor. And this is the bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we cannot cure mistrust with the law. Just like Senator Medu once told me, and I believe probably he said it on the floor of this House, you cannot force people, and especially politicians, to love each other. So this bill, Mr. Speaker, and I like using analogies, is like the best man of a certain wedding requesting some roles from the bridegroom, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you ask to be a deputy governor, your work is only one. You are a governor designate, just in case the governor dies or the governor is impeached, period. And if you feel you're good to be a governor, run as a governor, Mr. Speaker. The Constitution, and that's why I want to declare this law, Mr. Speaker, this law is seeking to amend the Constitution through the back door, Mr. Speaker. If you read the Constitution, Article 179, 2A, it says the County Executive Committee consists of the county governor and the deputy county governor. Already the Constitution is saying, so why do we say it in this law? Why are we saying this law that he should be attending these cabinet meetings, he should be given enough time, prior time? You're actually telling the governor, be writing to the deputy to invite him to the meeting. They have their own mechanism. Mr. Speaker, if you read the same article, 179(5), when the county governor is absent, the deputy county governor shall act as the county governor. That is the only role the Constitution gives the deputy governor when the governor is absent. If the governor is present, just go home and rest, Mr. Speaker. This is the Constitution. Why are we amending the Constitution by telling the governor, the deputy governor, to be a co-governor? So I do understand what they were trying to cure then. And since it was cured, and the person whose the law was supposed to help is already a governor, can we just withdraw this bill and say, if you want to be a governor, just run as a governor, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, the law is already available. This law is in the County Government Act. If you read the law, section 32 of the County Government Act, which is being amended by this law, Mr. Speaker, and you can see it has been amended by so many clauses. From A all the way to, Mr. Speaker, J. This law removes one of the fundamental sections that the law created when they got to know that the deputy governor is not a co-governor. He only acts when the governor is away. So if the governor is available, then he can only do what he has been assigned by the governor himself. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you what they remove with this law. Section 32(4) of the County Government Act says, when acting, remember the law says he should act when the governor is absent. When acting in office, as contemplated in Article 179(5), the one I've just read of the Constitution, the deputy governor shall not exercise any powers of the governor to nominate, appoint, or dismiss that are assigned to the governor under the Constitution or other written law. This law has deleted that clause. What does that tell you? They want the deputy governor to start dismissing, the deputy governor to start employing. So we are creating two centers of power trying to cure the problem that was in Meru that probably was cured when they already impeached the governor, but I don't believe it was cured. Mr. Speaker, if you read that section again, 32(5), the governor shall not delegate to the deputy governor or any of the functions referred to in subsection 4. So the law is even telling the governor, you cannot even delegate that. Now here we are as a Senate, we are now creating two centers of power, trying to tell the deputy governor that he can even manage budgets and finances. That is the work of the county treasury. You know, if you want to be a county treasury, nothing stops you from talking to your governor, and then the governor can make you a CEC for treasury. Nothing stops. I am a former MCA, and Senator Maazo has told us that we have a lot of experience. I believe in this house, nobody has more experience when it comes to devolution than myself. I've been an MCA, I've been a CEC, executive in the cabinet, and now here I'm as a senator, Mr. Speaker. So what I'm trying to say today is that we should not try to legislate relationship. If they're working together, work together. If they're not working together, somebody can resign. You are not supposed to be in an office if probably you are not working. And Senator Ledama, although I don't agree with him in most cases, he has said, actually the best thing is to scrap this seat of the county deputy governor. And I support, if we cannot cure the relationship, let's scrap that, and that is the amendment of the Constitution. Let's remove this seat so that if you impeach a governor, let people be given a new mandate to go and elect a different governor. Actually, so many impeachments that have come here, and you will agree with me, Mr. Speaker, they have been induced by deputy speakers. By deputy governors. So actually the problem is them, because they want the governor to go so that they can take the seat. So, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I would want to say the problem is more political than legal, Mr. Speaker. And since we cannot cure political problems through the law, let those who want to run as deputy governor know that the boss is the governor. The law gives the governor more powers that he can delegate some if he may. If you remember that gentleman who said, it says shall or may. This one says may, not shall, Mr. Speaker. So it depends on what the governor wants his deputy to do, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at H on the amendment, it says from time to time, appear before the county assembly to respond to questions. Nothing stops him today to appear before the county assembly. Actually, the county assembly can summon anyone. I think that is Article 185 of the Constitution. If the senior counsel can help me, Senator Ojienda. But that is what the law says, that anybody can appear. Nobody stops them. What these deputy governors are trying to do, they are trying to get powers so that there can be two powers, centers of power, and they try to, because they are unable to impeach the governors, now then there can be push and pull between these two people. Now, who will we be summoning to appear before the Senate as committees? Will we be inviting the deputy, or will we be inviting the governor? Remember, Mr. Speaker, we have had problem with the county assemblies, whereby we have had 2 speakers, 2 county clerks, and even 2 assemblies. Can you imagine what this law would do? We will be dealing with these issues where a certain deputy governor has already taken the whole county headquarters to a different place. Now we have 2 governors who are dealing with the county. So I oppose this law and implore the senator of Meru. The problem you tried to cure was cured. So we withdraw this bill, and we have only 1 year to the election. Then people can appoint deputy governors who are willing to work together. If you don't work together, and I had Senator for Migori, Senator Eddy, he was talking about that removing a governor from the courier side is removing the whole community. And you know, Mr. Speaker, that's the exactly thing that we were trying to say here when the deputy president of this republic was being removed. Removing the deputy president is removing Murima, is removing the whole community. So, Mr. Speaker, because I do understand this was supposed to cure something very different, and it has been cured. I raise my case and oppose this bill, which has been seconded by Senator Cherargei, and I will tell you, you will be all called, all of you.
You'll be all called.
Senator Tom Agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I should speak from the dispatch. Mr. Speaker, I with a very heavy heart, I agree with Senator Thangwa on a number of questions. The first question, Mr. Speaker, is that a close reading of Article 179 that confers executive power to the CEO of the county, who is the governor, and if you read in there, deputy CEO, clearly shows that the governor, while holding the power in the county to appoint and to execute all that has to be done in the county, has the mandate to delegate executive power to the deputy governor. Mr. Speaker, what this bill does is to try to designate or to direct the governor to share executive power with the deputy governor and the committee in the county, the CECs, as properly designated by the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this is an amendment, is an unconstitutional amendment to the Constitution. The intention of this bill, Mr. Speaker, is to undermine the very provisions that the Constitution clearly provides for. And the proper way, Mr. Speaker, to elevate or to otherwise deal with the power of deputy governors, Mr. Speaker, is to bring an amendment to the Constitution. Short of that amendment, Mr. Speaker, it is impossible through a bill that is brought before Senate to kind of recraft, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution in a manner that is unconstitutionally trying to deviate from constitutional provisions. Mr. Speaker, this bill, and again let me also agree with Senator Thang on this, this bill was brought against the backdrop of the impeachment of the governor for Meru, whose action is still in court. And I must say that at some point she was my client. And the governor was since replaced with the deputy governor, who is the substantive governor of Meru County. Though I understand that governor has suddenly become very popular after her impeachment. But Mr. Speaker, the point here is that this bill may have served its purpose and should have been dropped at this point, because it was tailor-made for purposes of Meru County and did not succeed at the time. Mr. Speaker, we have examples of counties where deputy governors and governors sit in well and work together for the people. Let me give you an example, Mr. Speaker, of my own county, Kisumu, where the deputy governor, Dr. Willie, is sitting pretty. He's sitting pretty dark. He's out there. He only does assignments given to him by the governor. Other times, he's out there, he's idle. He does not perform any duty unless Governor Nyong'o assigns him that role. So that shows you that deputy governors who are not overzealous, who are not too keen to carve their own space, work well with governors who are in office. A strong deputy governor and a strong governor can hardly survive in the same space. If you look at the example of Makueni, Honorable Speaker, you find that Makueni is a shining example of a perfect coexistence of the governor and deputy governor. Look at Kakamega, but where, Mr. Speaker, in Siaya, for instance, you had Deputy Governor Oduol brought to Senate for impeachment by Governor Orengo, because the deputy governor was trying to carve out gubernatorial powers from the governor, which he cannot enjoy unless Article 179 is amended. Let us not, Mr. Speaker, cleverly take away powers of the CEO of the county through a bill or through legislation and purport to direct through the back door a governor to give powers to the deputy governor, including powers, for instance, as the bill designates, for a governor to appoint a deputy governor as a CC. That is shared power. You cannot sneak and share power of a CEO from the back door. Let it be done through the front door, Mr. Speaker, as the law mandates. Mr. Speaker, I oppose this bill. It is utterly unconstitutional and should collapse on its backside and die. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Professor Tom Ojenda. Senator Kinyua.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Kwanza kabisa Bwana Spika, nataka kumpongeza Seneta wa Meru, naibu wa Spika, kwa mswada huu ambao ameuleta katika bunge hili. Bwana Spika, amejaribu kutuliza mgogoro ulioko kati ya magavana na manaibu wao. Lakini Bwana Spika, kujaribu kutuliza mgogoro huu, kwanza kabisa mimi na itakumbukwa baada ya mimi kwa seneti iliyopita nilikuwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya ugatuzi. Bwana Spika, naibu wa gavana wa Pokot, miaka 4 ilikwisha bila yeye kuwa katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. Bwana Spika, alikuwa ni daktari katika Marekani. Bwana Spika, Bwana Spika, sijui ni kwa nini hii sheria Kadhuri anajaribu kuileta hapa. Bwana Spika, mtu yoyote ambaye anawania kiti chochote katika Jamhuri ya Kenya anapaswa kwanza ajue majukumu ya kile kiti, ajue uwezo wa kile kiti. Bwana Spika, ajue anaweza kufanya vipi na kile kiti. Bwana Spika, kwa manaibu wa magavana kuja hapa, kwa sababu nimesikia wakati wamekuwa na vikao wakijaribu kuzungumzia huu mswada, nimesikia seneta wa Meru Kadhuri akisema ya kwamba aliwasikiza na kuna yale mambo ambao walikuwa wakitaja. Bwana Spika, wakasema hawapewi majukumu, wanakaa katika ofisi, hawana bajeti yoyote, wao kazi yao ni kukaa katika ofisi, gari zao hazina mafuta. Bwana Spika, ilhali inasemekana vizuri sana nafasi hii ya naibu wa gavana ni ya kusaidia kuimarisha kazi ya gavana wa kaunti, kuhakikisha kuwa tawi la utendakazi wa kaunti inafanyika kwa ufanisi. Bwana Spika, na iwe vema. ikiwa hajapatiwa kazi yoyote na gavana, bwana spika, kulingana na katiba, mafuta anataka ya nini? Bwana spika, kazi yake ni kukaa katika ofisi na kungoja. Bwana spika, kutengeneza ama seneti kukubali sheria hii kupita katika seneti hii kutaleta kuingiliwa kwa mamlaka ya gavana, bwana spika, kwa sababu yule ambaye amepewa majukumu ya kuulizwa maswali katika seneti hii, kuulizwa na mtu yoyote hata pale katika county, ni gavana, bwana spika. Majukumu ambayo yanapendekezwa hapa, bwana spika, ni majukumu ambayo yatatengeneza serikali mbili, ama tuwe na serikali mbili sambamba ambazo zitakuwa zinaleta mgogoro katika county. Bwana spika, utendaji kazi utadorora, kwa sababu Waswahili wanasema fahari wawili wapiganapo nyasi ndizo huumia. Kuwa na mafahari wawili katika gatuzi, bwana spika, italeta vurugu, mvutano, na hii itakuwa imewekwa wazi na seneti hii. Bwana spika, nimesikiza kwa makini Seneta Cherargei ambaye tulikuwa na yeye katika seneti iliyopita, na alikuwa mwanachama wa kamati ya ugatuzi, na jambo kama hili lililetwa na alikuwa mwanachama nikiwa mwenyekiti, anakubaliana na mimi. Sijui amepindukia wapi, sijui fikra zake zimepindukia wapi, kwa sababu yeye alikuwa akisema ya kwamba gavana anapaswa apewe mamlaka, awe anawajibika, na yeye peke yake ndio anaweza kuulizwa maswali. Yeye ndio amechaguliwa, bwana spika. Ikiwa deputy ama naibu wa gavana, bwana spika, kunasemekana ameshamiri, ana uwezo kabisa, bwana spika, anapaswa asimame kiti cha ugavana, bwana spika. Nikilinganisha, bwana spika, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya William Ruto, yule yuko wakati huu, wakati ule mwingine, bwana spika, alisema ya kwamba hakupatiwa bajeti, bwana spika. Anasema alidhulumiwa, bwana spika, na ilijulikana wazi alidhulumiwa. Bwana spika, alipoona hicho kiti anadhulumiwa, akasimama kiti cha urais, bwana spika. Hawa magavana tungetaka tuwaambie wasimame viti vya ugavana, lakini sio sisi hapa kuja kutengeneza sheria ambazo zitafanya wao wenyewe tuwapatie majukumu ambayo kikatiba hayako, bwana spika. Kwa sababu mtu yoyote ambaye anasimama kiti, awe ni seneta, awe ni MCA, awe ni mbunge, anajua uwezo wa kile kiti anasimama, bwana spika, ni majukumu yapi alionayo. Hawezi ukasimama kiti, bwana spika, kwa sababu magavana wengine, bwana spika, hata kwa sababu nimeangalia katika ripoti ambayo imeletwa hapa na kamati hii ya ugatuzi, bwana spika, utafiti unaonyesha ya kwamba hawa manaibu wa magavana wengine hawajulikani, bwana spika. Yule ambaye alijulikana wakati anachaguliwa ni gavana. Haiwezekani, bwana spika, baada ya wewe kuchaguliwa unakuja kutumia mlango wa nyuma ili uweze kupatiwa majukumu ambayo hayuko katika sheria za Kenya. Bwana spika, nataka kuupinga mswada huu ulioletwa na Kadhuri. Alikuwa na mafikra mazuri, bwana spika, ya kuleta uwiano katika gatuzi zetu, lakini uwiano wa gavana na naibu wake hatuwezi kuweka katika sheria, kwa sababu mapenzi, bwana spika. Hivi leo, bwana spika, hata tukiandika sheria zipi, wakati talaka inatokea, bwana spika, talaka, sheria ziko za talaka, na hawezi kuambia watu ni mpaka wapendane, wapende, wasipende, bwana spika. Kwa hivyo sisi, kile ambacho ningependa kuambia Seneta Kadhuri, alikuwa kama Mkristo, alikuwa na maoni mazuri, mwelekeo mzuri, na hata Seneta Cherargei kumuunga mkono. Lakini kile ambacho ningependa kumwambia, talaka ikifika, Cherargei, hakuna vile unaweza kuwapatanisha watu ambao tayari wameamua kutengana. Laikipia, bwana spika, naibu wa gavana wa Laikipia, kila wakati nikimuona kwa mikutano nikimwona katika mikutano.
Senator Cherargei, what's your point of order? Senator Kinyo, take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding order 101 sub-article or subsection 6. A senator shall refer to another senator by the title senator. Mr. Speaker, sir, have you heard the distinguished senator of Laikipia referring to me as Cherargei? Can he abide by the standing orders? And you know, he's a ranking member. In fact, he should be thrown out because he's
Senator
a ranking member.
Cherargei made your point. I must admit that for the number of times I've heard Senator Kinyua speaking and making reference to colleague senators, I haven't heard him not making reference to them as Senator so-and-so. So he's in order. Proceed, Senator Kinyua.
Okay, asante Speaker. Na ikiwa nimemkosea bila kumtaja seneta, ninamuita seneta mara 4, ndiposa nikikosea ile nitakuwa nimetaja aina inaingia, inamsaidia ndio aweze kuwa. Na pengine bwana Speaker anajishuku kwa sababu amekuwa akikoroga watu mpaka sasa inaonekana anajishuku ni seneta. Ni Senator Cherargei, wewe ni seneta na sasa yeye ni seneta. Kwa hivyo bwana Speaker, nikimalizia nilitaka kusema ya kwamba Laikipia
Senator Kinyua, you know, the unfortunate thing with you is when you are given the leeway by the chair by noting that you are in order to make reference to your colleague by name and title, you've gone overboard. I do not want to permit an interruption to your contribution, but you need to also comply with the standing orders by speaking to the chair, not your colleague senator.
Asante bwana Speaker. Bwana Speaker, nilitaka kusema ya kwamba Laikipia, naibu wa gavana na gavana haonani. Imekuwa ni vigumu wao kufanya kazi pamoja. Lakini bwana Speaker, hata tukitengeneza sheria zipi hapa kusema ya kwamba ni mpaka wapendane, ni mpaka watembee pamoja, ni mpaka wafanye kazi pamoja, bwana Speaker, walipokutana bwana Speaker na kusema huyu ndiye atakuwa naibu wangu, bwana Speaker, sisi watu wa Laikipia tuliambiwa na wao. Kwa hivyo bwana Speaker, hatuwezi kuja kutengeneza sheria hapa za kuwahimiza kufanya kazi pamoja bwana Speaker, kwa sababu walipokuwa wakichaguliwa bwana Speaker, walikuwa wakivaa suti zinafanana, shati zinafanana, tai zinafanana, walitembea sawa sawa, walitembea miondoko iliyokuwa sawa sawa. Lakini bwana Speaker, wakati umefika ni watalaka, hatuwezi tumia seneti kuhalalisha mambo ambayo wanapaswa kufanya. Kwa hivyo bwana Speaker, kwa hayo mengi nataka kupinga mswada huu na kusema ya kwamba naupinga kwa sababu haya mapendekezo yaliyoko hapa ni mapendekezo ambayo katika kaunti ambazo wanafanya kazi pamoja wanafanya vile ambavyo kunafaa. Kwa hivyo bwana Speaker, hatuwezi kutengeneza sheria za watu wawe na mapenzi. Nashukuru bwana Speaker.
Thank you Senator Kinyua. Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I also rise to contribute to the proposed amendments to the County Governments Act. Mr. Speaker, the County Governments Act needs a thorough audit. It needs thorough interrogation. 10 years after devolution, Mr. Speaker, this Senate ought to do this nation a favor by looking at the entire act holistically instead of in piecemeal amendments. Mr. Speaker, I have noted that today we are discussing amendments to the section of the act that relates to deputy governors, but there is also another legislative proposal in the order paper to make further amendments to the County Governments Act. Mr. Speaker, how I wish we could perhaps sometimes tie some of these things up so that we have a comprehensive review and amendment to the County Governments Act. Mr. Speaker, the role of deputy governor is clearly spelled out in the Constitution. Article 179(4), which I like quoting whenever governors appear before my committee. I remind them that the county governor is the chief executive officer of the county. And it is for that reason that we expect them to respond to all issues raised in financial statements, in performance reports, in budget implementation reports. The chief executive officer, that is where the buck stops. The deputy governor is designated as the deputy chief executive of the county. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to repeat what everyone else has said, but I want to pose a question on Article 179(5), which says that when the county governor is absent, the deputy county governor shall act as a county governor. How do we define the absence of a county governor? Is it when the governor has gone to watch World Cup in the US? Is that governor absent? Is it when the governor has left his county and gone to another county, like Governor Orengo was in Homa Bay today and caused a lot of chaos in Homa Bay? Would the people of Siaya deem him to be absent from Siaya? Mr. Speaker, what we need to do is to have clear definition of absence of a county governor. Absence could be through impeachment, through resignation. Absence could be vacation of office through the means that have been defined in the Constitution. But there is also the absence which in corporate governance or in contemporary employment practice could be referred to as leave. Mr. Speaker, a chief executive officer, as defined in this Constitution, must be subjected to certain human resource policies and practices. It is not possible that a CEO can be on duty from the first day of his election to the last day of their election. We as state officers or members of parliament, we go on recess. This house does not sit from the first day of our election to the last day of our election. Is it viable that a governor can be present and able to discharge their duties 24/7 for 5 years? Mr. Speaker, there is something called leave that even our employees are subjected to. There was a petitioner who brought a petition here that Parliament should enact legislation to provide provisions for governors to take leave. And so if a governor takes leave, it could be medical leave. I saw the governor of Moranga took medical leave. He had an injury and he assigned his deputy the power to act in his absence. We have seen governors go on maternity leave. And Mr. Speaker, it is very good and it's a wonderful thing if a governor can go on maternity leave. I am sure there are governors who have gone on paternity leave. When you go on leave, is that absence? Mr. Speaker, in corporate practice, that is absence. But even in that situation of absence, there is temporary incumbency. And Mr. Speaker, what happens in national government should be applied to the county governments. Temporary incumbency is handled in Article 134 of the Constitution, when it talks about the absence of a president. And we have seen that exercised when Uhuru Kenyatta had to go to The Hague to respond to summons of the International Criminal Court. The Constitution foresaw that in a situation like that of absence, the person who steps in to fill that absence cannot have unfettered powers. Mr. Speaker, in the national government case, we said that a temporary president arising out of the absence of the substantive president cannot nominate judges, cannot appoint ambassadors, cannot appoint cabinet secretaries, cannot confer honors, and cannot exercise the power of mercy. What we need to do is to define absence and define powers of a deputy governor in a case of temporary incumbency. Would a deputy governor acting under temporary incumbency therefore appear before the Senate and its committees? Mr. Speaker, that could be limited. The same way we have limited the powers of a deputy president under Article 134. For me, that is the clarity that is required. Otherwise, everything else that we are trying to do here is trying to dictate to a governor how to delegate. Mr. Speaker, I would further want to make a proposal that we need to go back to the Article 185. Article 185 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, talks about a person, or talks about each candidate for election as county governor shall nominate a person who's qualified for nomination for election as county governor as a candidate for deputy governor. Who nominates a person to be deputy governor? It is not the political party. It is not the assembly. It is not any other person. It is the governor. It is the candidate for election as county governor who nominates a person who, in their considered opinion, is qualified for nomination for election as county governor, as a candidate for deputy governor. Mr. Speaker, if we had an opportunity to rewrite this constitution, I would rewrite Article 185 and say that immediately after an election, the candidate who is elected governor shall nominate a person who is qualified for nomination for election as deputy governor. Because when they go into a joint ticket, Mr. Speaker, there is a perception of being shareholders. And there's a perception of a 50-50 government. So, Speaker, I have seen that in Homa Bay County. The deputy governor resigned a few months ago. And the problem was there was a perception that there were two powerhouses that went into an election, won an election, and so people thought that the governor and deputy are co-governors. There is nothing like that, Mr. Speaker. Even if the party requested the governor to nominate somebody, the responsibility under Article 185 falls and lies with the county governor. If it is the duty of the county governor to nominate a person, Mr. Speaker, I would also rewrite this constitution to allow for the governor to rescind the nomination of a deputy governor, subject to approval of the county assembly, so that we don't have to subject deputy governors to all this circus that we have seen, them being brought to the Senate for impeachment. If we do not amend Article 185, as I have proposed, Mr. Speaker, perhaps we should amend it to say that where a candidate for election as county governor is required to nominate a person, that person should be of the other gender. That also will advance certain principles that are in this constitution that we've been unable to achieve. Mr. Speaker, there are two functions I have seen some county governments assigned to the deputy governor. There are counties that have said the county budget and economic forum shall be chaired by the deputy governor. Of course, statute requires the governor to chair it, but in many cases, some governors have allowed their deputy governors to chair it, similar to the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Committee that is at the national government that statute requires to be chaired by the deputy president. I have also seen some counties in their county disaster management acts designate the chair of the county disaster committee to the deputy governor. However, it is not possible for Senate sitting in Nairobi to say that a specific role must be assigned to a deputy governor because, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution, again, Article 179(2), talks about the county executive committee consisting of the county governor and the deputy county governor and other members appointed and approved by the county assembly. It would be good practice to ensure that the deputy governor has got something substantive to keep them busy, but at the end of the day, before you apply for a position, please read the job description. This Senate and many members, pioneer members of this Senate, suffered from that. I was in the 11th Parliament, Mr. Speaker, and every day when senior members rose to speak, they were lamenting about the limited powers of members of the Senate. And people kept reminding them, you are the ones who wrote this constitution. Many of them wrote this constitution. How come you didn't know that the Senate that you created was the upper house in words, but the lower house in reality? So if you are going to go for the position of deputy governor, please read the constitution so that you do not have complaints and tussles thereafter, believing that you are a co-governor or a deputy governor. And I know that sometimes it's political compromises and political settlements. But the reality is, once the election is over, a bus can only have one driver, and the deputy can only step in when that driver is absent. And unfortunately, most governors choose that if they're going to be absent, the bus would rather stop and wait for them to come back. And that is why we need to allow governors to have a framework for going on leave, a framework for definition of absence, and then a framework for deputy governors to take over in the case of temporary incumbency. Mr. Speaker, because I want my other colleagues to comment on this, I would also want to request deputy governors to read the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Law number 1 in the 48 Laws of Power is never outshine the master. And that seems to be the problem in many cases where we have very competent deputy governors, some of them who are technocrats, serving under governors who are largely politicians, who know how to get the vote. And sometimes once they've gotten the vote, they have no idea what to do with it. And you find that it is a deputy governor who knows what to do after the victory. And so people start getting this perception that the deputy governor is becoming more popular, is becoming more effective, and so you end up with some impeachment motions that are not very useful to the counties in question. Mr. Speaker, I believe that there is more we can do to strengthen the office of the deputy governor, but not in the manner that has been presented here. And I do hope that at some point we'll rewrite Article 185 either to provide for gender pairing or to allow for governors to appoint deputy governors after an election. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I oppose this amendment.
Thank you, Senator Kadzwang. Senator Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for an opportunity to contribute to this. Honorable Speaker, I'm the Vice Chairperson of the Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, and we looked at this bill. When the mover moved the bill today for second reading, I think he may have given the impression that the committee may have agreed with it as it is. Because it's 1 year since we actually submitted our report, nearly 1 year, Honorable Speaker, I will actually share that report in the House Business Committee forum so that members who have not contributed to this debate can also see what the committee looked at and what the committee recommendations were. Honorable Senator, Honorable Speaker, there are a number of things. Clearly, we have a number of a huge problem between many governors and many deputy governors. That is the reason why deputy governors came together to try and see whether they can find a way and get assigned functions through the law. Even as they're doing so, one can kind of empathize with them on the basis that the office of the deputy governor is a public office that is a public resource. So to a certain extent, it is wasteful expenditure to actually put somebody in office being paid public resources and doing nothing. I think it is something that needs to be dealt with. But as colleagues have spoken before, and I support what Senator Kajwang, Senator Methu, Senator, I think all the senators, that nearly all of them except for a few, have said, we need to be careful about rewriting the Constitution through this law. But even as we're being careful in rewriting the Constitution, we also need to be careful to ensure that we don't get into an overreach. It is the role of Parliament to make laws, but it is not the role of Parliament to do executive assignment of roles. And every executive has one center of power, one CEO. That's why, Honorable Speaker, 2013 to 2022, we had a president and a deputy president in office for 10 years. But when you hear the then deputy president speaking, he speaks as if he was never part of that government. And the only reason the world allows him to do that, because the buck stops with the president. So he's able to criticize what President Uhuru did. He was part of that government, he sat in that cabinet. And the only reason you might entertain that is because the buck stops with the president. Our constitution did not split the country to say the deputy president will be in charge of this, this, and the other. Therefore, when we are evaluating performance of a government, we are looking at what the portion of the president and the portion of the DG, or of the deputy president. What the DGs want us to do is to jump into the arena of executive implementation of its mandate and help the governor to assign tasks to them. I don't think we can do so. But we must acknowledge and be able to tell the governors that it is also wasteful expenditure to have an office that is receiving salaries and perks, but which is not intended to actually do anything, which is supposed to just sit there. I think that is something that we would need to look at. Honorable Speaker, when you look through the committee that we made, maybe our recommendation might just simply be one, because the second one was just reiterating the fact that the governor may delegate work, a provision that is already within the County Government Act. What we did recommend after looking at all the clauses, we actually proposed that we delete the clauses as provided and amend Section 32 of the County Governments Act to require the governor to assign responsibilities to the deputy governor and to ensure that the office of the deputy governor is adequately facilitated. Having looked at everything, we felt that that statutory requirement in broad terms may very well be the one that will then make the governor to actually assign responsibility to that office and to ensure that that office is running for purposes of carrying out that responsibility. I think that is the best arrangement that we can ever go, but we cannot go further to say, please assign him to do this, please assign him to do the other. I think all of those clauses, if we go about it that way, would be crossing the line. The Senate would now have decided to join the office of the governor and to try and assist governor to run their counties. And we did this knowing very well that it is not a problem with the law, because we have county governments where the governor and the deputy governor are working pretty well. They have assigned tasks to deputy governors, and those deputy governors are carrying out those tasks. We have counties where deputy governors are chairing committees. They have been assigned a docket to run, and they are running those dockets and delivering on their mandates without a problem. So we cannot say that the problem that currently exists, as somebody said, that the love affair has now failed and divorce is ensuring, that the Senate can cure that kind of relationship with this kind of law. So we are requesting as a committee, if you look at the detail, and we met quite a number of people, and we have a detailed report on each and every one of...
Senator Muma, when the House resumes tomorrow, you will have 11 minutes to conclude on your contribution to this particular bill. And now, Honorable Senators, it's now 6:30 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 23rd of July, 2026, at 2:30 p.m.